Okay, so welcome, John, to
Yeah. Hi, John.
the session. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, good.
Um,
Good.
Hopefully, Iona will join at some point. She's usually a bit late, but let's just crack on with it, shall we? Given you've got only a
Yeah.
couple of hours,
Yeah.
so I'm going to start off with the quote. Let me share my screen with you. And
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
okay, so you want to read that quote?
Yeah. Yeah. Each of us must confront our own fears, must come face to face with them. How we handle our fears will determine where we go with the rest of our lives. To experience adventure or to be limited by the fear of it.
Hmm.
Yes.
What she's really talking about there. Have you noticed so many of these quotes point to the hero's journey?
Yes.
Churchill's quote
Yes.
yesterday was like, the tap, the call to adventure. She's talking about, this adventure. And it's not necessarily an adventure on the level of form, although that's possible. Sometimes that happens as part of one's spiritual journey. But it's the call to the inner adventure. Discover who you are, know thyself is the real adventure. Who am I really, and am I willing to take that journey from the known to the unknown, to question everything I've believed so far. I mean, that's a huge adventure
Yes. Indeed.
at whatever age you're at. Often it's
Yes.
later in life. Suddenly go, well, maybe actually I really didn't know anything, right? Maybe I was clueless. All
Yeah.
my beliefs were false, and
Yeah.
and change your perception of yourself, change your perception of the world. Maybe that's the real adventure.
Yeah.
um, as as she says here. So
Yeah. Yeah. Who is Judy Bloom?
that's a good question, actually. I don't think she was anyone terribly famous.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I normally put a link there. I should have done that. So as we're limited on time, I think let's just skip over that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter who the person is, whether they
No.
were
No.
famous
No.
like
No. No.
Churchill. Or,
No.
it's actually the idea that matters.
It is. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I just make the point here. It's about really the true journey is the hero's journey, changing your mind about yourself and seeing everything with fresh eyes, rather than traveling anywhere or going on an adventure in the world. It's particularly pertinent to you.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to do that at this stage of your life, but actually you're on an adventure. It's an
Yeah.
exploration, deep exploration of the truth of your own mind, who you are, and so you don't actually have to go anywhere. Just the beauty of this technology is you sit in the comfort of your own home and you can have conversations with people around the world.
Yeah. Yes. Which is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, good. So it's really facilitated. Previously you would have had to go out of your house to get this sort of interaction.
Yes. Yeah.
Now you don't. So, all right. So let's go into the quote then. The lessons.
Yes. Yeah.
So I did what you suggested. So let's see how this format
Okay.
works.
Okay. Yeah. All
So
right.
there's the conventional, which is clean, and the uh, alternative translation, which is also
Yeah.
clean. Ah, and
Yeah.
there's a great. Just in time for the lesson. So where's my cursor gone? It would actually be quite useful to have a touch screen in circumstances like this. Can you see my cursor?
Uh,
Got to try and
I
get the
can.
cursor.
Yes. Yes. I can, John.
Where is it?
It's above your Facebook icon. That you just moved it.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just lost it. Okay, there we go. All right, let's say hello to Iona. Hi, Iona.
Hello.
Hi, Iona.
Hi, John.
Hi, Kenneth.
Just stopped my recording for some reason. Anyway, never mind. It's not actually that important because I'm recording it elsewhere. Hi, Iona, Kenneth.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us. So we just about to start the lesson, so you're in good time. What I've done is done it as the original. There's the original paragraph, and then there's the alternative translation beneath it, which is cleaner. So that should be easier to read. So what I suggest is read the original, and then read the second, the alternative, as kind of a review of it.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to translate as you go.
Okay.
Then we'll discuss it. So do you want to kick it off, Iona?
Sure.
Paragraph 1.
God is the love in which I forgive. God does not forgive because he has never condemned. The blameless cannot blame, and those who have accepted their innocence see nothing to forgive. Yet forgiveness is the means by which I will recognize my innocence. It is a reflection of God's love on earth. It will bring me near enough to heaven that the love of God can reach down to me and raise me up to him. Pure formless awareness is the love in which I let go. Love does not let go because it has never condemned. The blameless cannot blame, and those who have accepted their innocence see nothing to let go of. Yet letting go is the means by which I will recognize my innocence. It is the reflection of the love of pure formless awareness on earth. It will bring me near enough to the state of pure formless awareness that the love of pure formless awareness can reach down to me and raise me up to it. Yeah. Well, with the translation, I'm immediately taken out of my little girl in the big church situation, with God up there somewhere, nothing to do with me, but seemingly able to reach down and see everything I do. And yeah.
Isn't it interesting how words have that power? Just a word, because you've got an association with it.
Yeah.
Gives you a different understanding.
Mm-hmm. So they're the words, and they're the thoughts, and they're the feeling, coming chasing in immediately.
So that kind of works for you to do it this way.
Yeah, very much. It's nice.
Yeah, because then it's a cleaner, you're not like it, because that just kind of, it makes it all choppy. Whereas this isn't, it's flowing, and you read one and then you read the other as a translation, and you go, okay, so now it's like a review, you read it twice, and with the alternative terms, hopefully you get some deeper understanding on the second read as well.
Well, I understand that love never condemns, but I have seen myself as guilty. Therefore, I have a need to let go of the guilt and accept my innocence and understand that I am blameless. Yet, yeah, there we go. Letting go is the recognition of my innocence. In that letting go, I reflect the love of pure formless awareness on this earth. And I shall be raised up by that recognition of it in myself.
So it's like that state. It's a perfect state of awareness. And as you let go of your blocks to that awareness, then you're raised up. Or another way of saying that would be you merge into it. Your mind just merges into that state. You are that state. Your state of mind is that state of mind. So it's a very different idea from God out there somehow looking over you, and of course being unreachable. You'll never reach that. If that's the case, if it's outside of you.
Yeah. So, Jono, before I start scribbling away, will you put these translations on the group chat? Or
Oh,
it
yeah.
could be an email.
They're in the email, yeah.
Great.
They're in the email for today. I noticed did you get your email today? Your email got deactivated for some reason.
I did find it.
So you would have missed 1 or 2 emails, or maybe just one, and then I noticed someone's dropped off the group. So somehow it deactivated your email in my system. It would have bounced or something like that. So did you get it this morning?
Yeah, it inevitably goes into promotions, but I can, even though I've instructed it not to.
Really? Right.
But I know where to look for it.
Yeah. Okay. So at least you're getting it.
Uh-huh.
Good. So yeah, they're in the email. No, I could put them in the WhatsApp group, I suppose.
As long as I know where to find it, that's fine. Sometimes, as you say, maybe you just listen to this and not go into your emails, because sometimes there can be other noise in there.
Yeah.
It's nice not to open the email first thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So happy with, you want to give us a little summary of number 1?
Oh. I have seen myself as guilty. I'm starting in on the second sentence here, and have to accept my innocence in order to let go and recognize that innocence. And that reflects the pure formless awareness within me. And I light it up and send it out here on earth.
And the letting go will bring you to the state of pure formless awareness.
Yeah.
So simple, really. I mean, so what could be simpler? Yeah, yes, you've got all kinds of stuff that blocks that awareness. Let go of the blocks and you return your mind to that awareness. Like, easy peasy. Jesus is saying, like, why all the drama, people? It's so easy. And yet, of course, the blocks are the problem. The blocks are what stop us from merging with that awareness, from accepting that awareness as ours. Because if I'm guilty, I cannot be in pure formless awareness. Impossible. Guilt and sin and these ideas block that awareness completely. Okay, happy with number 1?
Yeah.
Thanks, by the way, for your kind comments on the meditation.
Oh, it was really lovely.
Always appreciate it. Yeah, good. Well, save the ones you like. Put them in a folder or something.
Yeah.
You in like your best of favorites.
Okay, I'll call it best of Jono.
Call it best of the art of letting go.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just a messenger.
Yeah.
So number 2, John, do you want to read number 2 for us?
Yes. God is the strength in which I trust. It is not my own strength through which I forgive. It is through the strength of God in me, which I am remembering as I forgive. As I begin to see, I recognize his reflection on earth. I forgive all things because I feel the stirring of his strength in me. And I begin to remember the love I chose to forget, but which has not forgotten me. Alternatively, it is not my own strength through which I let go. It is through the strength of love, pure formless awareness in me, which I am remembering as I let go. As I begin to perceive truly, I recognize its reflection on earth. I let go of all things because I feel the stirring of its strength in me, and I begin to remember the love I chose to forget, but which has not forgotten me.
Okay, any thoughts on that?
Yes. this kind of word strength, actually. It is through the strength of God in me, which I am remembering as I forgive. So it's just the word strength that I'm intrigued by.
Okay.
I feel as though it's got something, it's not just, it's got something in it that I haven't quite got hold of.
I think it's a feeling. You got to feel into it.
Yeah.
Feel into the words. So it's a deep. You call it strength. You could call it power. Call it certainty.
Yeah. Power resonates. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, use whatever through the power of love. It's the same. It's just a different pointer, really. Remember, as I say here, words. The words are just pointers. They're symbols of symbols twice removed from reality.
Yes.
Jesus in the manual for teachers.
It's the idea of needing strength in order to forgive. That is just
Okay. Through the strength of God in me, which I'm remembering as I forgive. Well, he's not saying in order to forgive. He's saying I remember it as I forgive. Isn't he?
well. He's saying he's saying it is not my own strength through which I forgive. It is through the strength of God in me, which I am remembering as I forgive.
Yeah. So as you forgive or let go, you start remembering that strength. So there's an inner feeling of strength, power, certainty. We're not talking about worldly strength, or I'm so strong, I'm more stronger than someone else. But it's a deep feeling of I'm feeling certain, I'm feeling comfortable, I'm feeling peaceful.
It's a sense of
I'm invulnerable. I'm in the peace of God, and I'm invulnerable to whatever the world can throw at me. That's kind of the strength he's referring to,
and a sense of resolution.
That this is the truth, and I'm home, and I'm going to stay here. And you remember this as you forgive. So through the strength, you then say, yes, I remember this. There's some kind of feeling there, some kind of connection. But as I let go, that strength then encourages me to let go of my misperceptions. And through that strength, I then come to a greater awareness. Through the letting go, I come to a greater awareness of the strength. So strength stimulates me to let go, encourages me to let go. I let go, and I feel it more. It starts to rise more and more in my awareness, and so then I can let go even more. So I have this, this. When I let go, I feel the strength, and it feels good. It feels, wow, this is a good state of mind to be in. Then why wouldn't I let go more? This is the result of it. You see. So,
and he uses the word trust in the title, but not in the text.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it doesn't. Strength in which I trust. So this is the strength that's going to help me to let go.
Yeah.
And I know that if I do let go, that the strength is going to be there.
Yeah.
Even more. I will feel more of this. I will connect more with this.
I think it's also, for me, it's also that idea of, as we let go of something, as we forgive something that somebody's done, for example, or said, there's a kind of slight disbelief in the process to start with. I can't really let go of this. I'm killing myself. This is impossible. It won't work. It's superficial.
Yeah.
But the strength, the power comes through the knowing that it will work its way through if I really trust it, even though it won't be immediate, time. But it will show itself
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is trust or faith. You must.
Yeah.
It requires faith to let go in the strength, which maybe is quite weak in you. The awareness of that strength might not be that strong to start with, which is
Yeah.
why you need to forgive. So you got to start somewhere. You start with, okay, I'm just a little bit willing. He says, just a little willingness. Yeah, okay, I'm a little bit willing to practice this, to follow Jesus's instructions. And if I start doing this, I start down the track, then I find that the strength grows in me.
Yeah.
And the strength and the power amplifies as I do this. And then I get more willing. My willingness is increased. My motivation to forgive is strengthened as I experience the benefits of it. And so that this is how it goes on our spiritual journey. We start off with maybe quite weak faith, but enough to start.
Or we might start off with strength at, we might be strong at forgiving certain types of things, but not others.
Yeah. We all have our our limitations to start with, which is why we need to forgive. And we wouldn't need it if we didn't have any limitations and we were perfectly in the peace of God. There'd be nothing to forgive, and so
Yeah.
forgiveness
Yeah.
or letting go wouldn't be necessary, and none of this would be necessary. You wouldn't need a course because you've already done it. But this is designed for people whose faith and trust is limited. Like, there's
Yes.
some willingness, but he understands that there's still some unwillingness, there's still some resistance, and so he's speaking to us there, where we are, and saying, okay, well, as you go on this path, your strength will grow,
Yes.
and trust will grow, and so just trust me, take my hand. Use yesterday's analogy. Take my hand, follow me on this path, and I will guide you, and you will see that your strength will grow, your trust will grow, and what you think maybe is not possible now will become possible.
Yeah.
As you grow into it. So some people might say there's just no way I can forgive that. Someone's done something and they've been harboring a grievance for years and years, and it's deep seated. Maybe it was serious abuse or whatever it was. I can never let go of that. And then well, let's start baby steps. Start letting go in your daily life. Start just letting go of your your anger with the person who cut you off on the road, or the impatience you felt at the supermarket counter, or when you watch the news. Start with these things, and then work up to it.
Yeah.
Start building your strength. So it's spiritual muscles. This is spiritual gym, really, training your spiritual muscles. And just with physical training, the more you do it, the stronger you get. You build it up. First time you go to the gym, and you haven't been for years, well, you're not going to be that strong. But if you keep doing it for a month, you go every couple of days for a month, by the end of that 30 days, you're going to be much stronger, inevitably. So it's the same sort of principle, and that's what you're doing with these lessons. Just building it up every day, just going to the gym, just working out, practicing letting go, entrenching these ideas more and more, so that you get better at it, you get stronger, and you should feel it. I mean, I know you mentioned over the weekend you felt the strength and this power coming through.
Yeah.
That's a sign. It's like, okay, look at what's available if you do this.
Yeah.
It's enormous power.
Yeah.
But you really then start to feel, look, this can do anything. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. Because I've felt it, I've experienced it myself. And so then I start to trust more and more. You go, well, I can really put my faith in that power.
Mm.
Not just sometimes, but in every situation. And then, probably what's going to happen is the tests are going to increase. You get tested in areas where you're unwilling to let go.
Uh-huh.
Because it needs to be full transfer of training. It's got to be universal in its application. And then, it's got to you got to get tested in areas that maybe you're not so strong in to increase your strength.
Okay.
The same way as, if you're doing physical training, you work on your weaknesses. Don't just work on your strengths. Okay, you've got a weak area. Okay, go work on that to strengthen that up. So you might find it quite easy to forgive little things, but maybe, special relationships are harder. So then, okay, you're going to get tested on that. But it's always possible if you remember, love is the strength in which I trust. Begin to remember the love I chose to forget, but which is not forgotten me. It's a lovely line.
And begin to remember the love I chose to forget. Yes.
But which is not forgotten me.
Yeah.
So just, you're never forgotten. It's always there. It's never too late. Whatever your path has been, it's never too late to just return your mind to that, because it's an unconditional love.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take account of all of your mistakes and go, oh, well, no, you messed up there. Remember 10 years ago you did that, and yesterday you did, and so on. It doesn't do that. It just is. It's always available, always welcoming, and the only block to its awareness is in your own mind, your own guilt. That's the problem. It keeps you from that awareness, which is the point he made in the first one. It is never condemned. So it doesn't matter what you did, it never condemned you. You're actually blameless. You just a tiny mad idea made you insane, and you made a whole lot of mistakes in a dream, but that doesn't mean that you're condemned. Love, love is still there, which is such a nice message, isn't it? It's just like this is the message he came to teach. Really, a very simple, like, you're not condemned. God is love. That's all he is. That's all you really are. And the ego's entire thought system of sin and guilt is just nonsense. It's not true. You can just drop it. And when you do, then there's nothing to fear. Which moves us on to number 3. I'll read this one for a change.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah.
How safe the world will look to me when I can see it. It will not look anything like what I imagine I see now. Everyone and everything I see will lean toward me to bless me. I will recognize in everyone my dearest friend. What could there be to fear in a world that I have forgiven and that has forgiven me? In the translation, there's nothing to fear. How safe the world will look to me when I can perceive it truly. It will not look anything like what I imagine I perceive now. Everyone and everything I see will lean toward me to bless me. I will recognize in everyone my dearest friend. What could there be to fear in a world that I've let go of and that has let go of me? Interesting. So if you translate that last one, the world that has let go of me. I was like, does that work? I'm like, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? The world that has forgiven me. Okay, so the world has no power over me. It cannot hold me, bind me into these illusions. If I let go, the world lets go of me, because the bondage is in my own mind. Some people say, well, that's all very well, I can forgive, but I'm still imprisoned in this whatever situation that I don't like. Relationship, job, financial position, that hasn't changed. But actually, what he's implying here is that those seemingly external circumstances can change. The bondage, when you free yourself in your mind, then it changes in the world, and the world seemingly lets go of you. So the imprisonment came from you.
What could there be to fear in a world that I have let go of and that has let go of? And who's the me? Is it and let go of my ego? And
yeah, let go of me. Well, me is the little self.
Of little self. Yeah.
So when I've let go, then that world, the world that that I see, which is just a reflection of my mind,
I get that. I just wanted
starts
to,
reflecting back to me that actually this little self is not true.
of course, I just needed a translation for the word me. And I think
Yeah.
in the third sentence, I think there's another C in there. Everyone and everything I perceive will lean toward me to bless me.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry, I missed that one.
No bother.
Everything I perceive will lean toward me to bless me. There's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Everyone and everything I perceive will lean toward me to bless me. I suppose you could, everyone I see with my physical eyes would work there. Everyone and everything I see. But yeah, perceive. I think perceive is better because it's everyone and everything is often in my mind. I'm not seeing them physically. It's a perception in my mind.
Jonna, just a little interruption here. I asked for a timed call from WhatsApp because we've got difficulty connecting on Kenneth's phone. So if I get a call, I'll have to take it because I said, okay, we'll call you in 59 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. So you can actually call WhatsApp when they call you.
Apparently so.
Really? Wow. I didn't know there was that sort of support. I thought you just had to kind of do it yourself.
Yeah, it's all very baffling.
Okay. All right. So no problem. Do what you need to do.
Thanks.
Cool. Okay. So happy with number 3. I mean, it's a really, really simple lesson. There's nothing to fear. I mean, kind of go like, is that it?
Oh.
But it is it, but it's accepting that. Okay, there really is nothing to fear. It doesn't matter what my perceptions are. Those are all illusory. If I can just drop the fear that underlies those perceptions, recognize that the fear is the problem. Fear then causes me to perceive in certain ways. So the problem is the fear. Drop the fear, and then there's nothing to fear. My perceptions of every situation change, and everyone will lean forward to bless me. Even if someone is not being nice to you, you can reinterpret that as a cry for love and still see that underlying that is this love that's actually calling you to recognize it in that person. I recognize in everyone my dearest friend, capital F. So that person then becomes the mighty companion on the journey, even if they're clueless, even if they have no idea who they are. You can still perceive them as your dearest friend. You get that sense from Jesus's life. Everyone was just his friend. He went around and he just made friends with everyone, except the Pharisees. Okay, he did have enemies, I suppose, but those who were open, he was just so friendly and warm and welcoming and open, and treated everyone as his dearest friend. And his family. There's a recording where he was giving a talk in the synagogue or something, and then his family came along and said, no, they're waiting for you. And he said, everyone here is my family. There's no specialness. They're not more special than anyone else. Everyone is the same. I see you all as the same. That was the message. I don't think his family appreciated that particularly, which is why I got a bit estranged from them. But really, the message was, everyone's my family. Everyone's my friend. Okay, happy with any thought, Diana? You want to give a little summary of that paragraph?
Sorry, I'm talking to WhatsApp right now.
Okay, no problem. John?
Yeah. There is nothing to fear in the sense of love and pure formless awareness will support us when we are into it, no matter what happens. And we will observe that people are drawn to us as a result.
And we see everyone is our friend then. We stop the animosity that characterizes the ego. See everyone in their true light. And then how can we fear? What is there to fear if we see that? Okay?
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yep.
Number 4 then?
God's voice speaks to me all through the day. There is not a moment in which God's voice ceases to call on my forgiveness to save me. There is not a moment in which his voice fails to direct my thoughts, guide my actions, and lead my feet. I am walking steadily on toward truth. There is nowhere else I can go, because God's voice is the only voice and the only guide that has been given to his Son. Alternatively, love's voice speaks to me all through the day. There is not a moment in which love's voice ceases to call on my willingness to let go to save me. There is not a moment in which its voice fails to direct my thoughts, guide my actions, and lead my feet. I am walking steadily on toward truth. There is nowhere else I can go, because love's voice is the only voice, the only guide that has been given to its extension.
Okay. So any thoughts on that? He's emphasizing all through the day, and there's a sense in that of in-depthness, I suppose. Yeah, because there are many moments in the illusion when we think, well, this is just kind of, you know, I've got to clean this, whatever, or do this, or go to the bank, or whatever. It just seems a trivial thing. But he's really saying there are no moments of trivia. Because I'm always connected to this deeper love. So even if I'm at the bank doing something transactional, there's people in the bank, okay, so I can see them as my brothers. I could have a holy encounter with the teller, just feel the love, smile, connect. Love's voice is speaking to me, and then I'll, seemingly ordinary, trivial moments become extraordinary because I'm in an expanded state of awareness, and that's available if I choose it. I could choose to, really connect with people on a deeper level, even the bank teller.
Especially
because underneath that, the form identity of that person and the role they're playing, and the fairly mundane job they're doing, there's a soul that's love, that's the same as you.
I was on a 4-hour online conversation, far too long. At the end of it all, the automated chat operator said, and I don't know if she says it to everybody, but she said, "Thank you, you've been the most lovely customer. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you." But I just kept it light because it was such a difficult thing for me to do, and I just thought, if I lose my temper about this, I'm going to be miserable. So I'll just. This is really excruciating, but actually it became funny.
4 hours. Wow, that's that's a long time to sort out a problem.
Yeah, I was connecting with online accounting again, and it involved PayPal and Apple. And I thought this could actually drive me to tears. But
Yeah.
we got there and we were both the online person and me, we were actually really, yeah, we've done it. High
Yeah.
five.
Yeah. Yeah. So you just made her day. You know, she
Well,
would have gone, or her, him or her, whoever
I
the
think it was a
person.
she, and I just handed it all over and started laughing about it and just forgot about the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So then
this,
it became a holy encounter.
yeah,
What could have been a really unpleasant experience,
yes.
sponsored by the ego. It's like, 4 hours of anger, frustration, projecting anger onto someone, really not feeling particularly good about it.
Yeah.
I'm behaving badly here, but I can't help myself because I'm so angry that this is happening to me, and and so on and so on. And yet the ego, if you can let go of that ego voice, then the spirit can do it.
Yes.
And it, like, reinterpret it becomes an opportunity for a holy encounter, and it can be very lovely.
That's true. And I've thought back to the times when I said, I'm better than this. This is not what I'm here to do.
Yeah, and actually it's exactly what you're here to do. To learn, even in the difficulties, love's voice is there.
Yeah.
It's always there. It's always present if you allow it.
Yeah.
You don't allow the circumstances to confuse you. It's really what the ego is trying to do is say, no, 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 no. There's an exception now. There's no love here. There's no love in Apple, PayPal accounting. This is just transactional stuff, and I should be painting. I should be doing something more elevated with my time.
Oh,
Did I tell you the story? I read a spiritual book about this guy who went into a spiritual community, and he had a talent in music. So, in his mind, it's like, well, I should be playing music. That's kind of more elevated, spiritual music. So his teacher says, no, 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 we think you should wash dishes. And of course, his ego's like, what, why should I? I'm better than this. I'm more special. And he resists it for like 3 months. And then eventually one day he just like surrenders and he lets go of his resistance, and he actually quite enjoys his dishwashing experience, finally. And then the next day his teacher says, no, we think you've had enough of dishwashing. Well, you can start playing your music now. Because it's to humble you, isn't it? It's like, okay, well, you think you're so grand and special. Just humble yourself and learn these, foundational lessons. In the karate, did you ever see the movie Karate Kid?
oh,
The old American movie, 1984, I think. It's a long time ago. Probably not, but anyway, the plot of it was this kid who's being bullied, living in an apartment block. It starts to be mentored by the Japanese caretaker, who's also happens to be a karate master. And so he says, yes, I want to learn this. So the karate master says, okay, so what you're going to do is go paint the fence. And he's like, what? I thought I was learning karate. And he's teaching him the karate moves in the painting of the fence. It's like up and down, so up. He says, remember, go up and down. And then he gets him to wash all of his cars. It's like wash car, wax on, wax off.
oh, is that where it comes from?
Wax on, wax off, yeah. Wax on, wax off.
Saying that.
Huh? Who's have you heard that?
It always says that. I've never understood it.
Who says it? Kenan.
Yeah.
Wax on, wax off. Yeah, it's Karate Kid. Watch the movie. And really what he's teaching him is the fundamentals of karate by helping him to, by saying, do all these chores. You're going to learn the moves. You're going to repeat the moves over and over and over again so that they become second nature. So when I ask you to do it in a fight sequence, you just do it because you've done it like thousands of times. But obviously the guy doesn't understand that. The student doesn't. He's like, why am I? This guy's using me. He's abusing me. He's using my time. It's like, because we think we know better than the spirit. That's really the lesson, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think, no, I'm in charge of the curriculum. Yeah, I know what's good for me. No, I should be doing that. And this is, part of the surrender is to say, no, you don't really know. If you knew the way, you would have found it already.
Yeah.
So you got to listen to this voice that's going to guide you, and it may tell you to do things that really don't make sense from the ego's point of view. It's not going to make sense at all. It's like, no, that's totally irrational. Don't do that. This is how it needs to look. So very often counterintuitive, not rational straight away, but in the long run, it makes perfect sense to have done that, because you go, yeah, absolutely, that made sense. But at the time, I didn't really know. I just got to trust the voice, that it knows what it's doing and it's guiding me. And if I have the feeling and that intuition, like, I should follow it, because it's never wrong. It's going to guide me, to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
And so it's trusting that voice and saying, yeah, okay, I'm, a leap of faith, but I'm going to put my trust in this and listen to this guidance. And it's going to take me in the opposite direction from the ego. So the ego is going to go kicking and screaming. It's, no, don't, there's going to be resistance, of course, because it's used to being in charge. And now you're saying, no, I'm not willing to listen to you anymore. Of course, there's going to be resistance, and that's that's why it's difficult. That's the hero's journey: overcome the resistance to love's voice, that's guiding you truly, which is really what this lesson speaks to. Love's voice speaks to me all through the day. So there's guidance. What it's saying, my interpretation of it, it's a guidance in every situation. It never fails to direct my thoughts, guide my actions, and lead my feet. It's going to guide me in these very practical things. I'm going to think about things in the world. I've got actions I'm going to take. I'm going to be walking, going places. So love is there with me always. And really, I'm walking steadily on toward truth. Nowhere else I can go. So it's the one direction again from yesterday. One direction again, emphasizing that. Love's voice is the only voice. This is the only guide that has really been given to me to guide me back to this awareness. So let me just listen to it. Okay, so I think I've done a summary of that. Happy with number 4?
Yeah.
So number 5, Iona, read that for us.
I am sustained by the love of God. As I listen to God's voice, I am sustained by his love. As I open my eyes, his love lights up the world for me to see. I forgive, his love reminds me that his Son is sinless. And as I look upon the world with the vision he has given me, I remember that I am his Son. I am sustained by the love of pure formless awareness. As I listen to love's voice, I am sustained by its love. As I open my eyes, its love lights up the world for me to see. As I let go, its love reminds me that its extension is sinless. And as I look upon the world with the vision it has given me, I remember that I am its extension. So I God's voice has spoken to me all day, sustains me as I listen. As I open my eyes, I am seeing the true spiritual sight, the vision of the world. Yeah.
Coming from that foundational awareness, coming from my pure formless awareness, I see differently. I have to.
Yes.
I go to the bank and I see the teller as the Son of God.
Yes.
Wow, I mean, that's a profound experience, and I connect with that person on that level, and they will feel it on some level. They will feel that presence, and they'll go. They probably won't know how to interpret it necessarily, but there will be some kind of lifting up, some kind of inspiration that you just brought into their quite limited world.
Or perhaps not limited, but expecting limitation in the people that they encounter.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Because that's what they normally get. They're going to get customers who just like everything's transactional. It's kind of mundane. You're going to get probably more unhappy people and happy people. People complaining, and and then that's their life. They do that 8-9 hours a day, and then you come in and just bring in like a breath of fresh air, and they'll remember that. Actually, that was amazing. It's like just might be, makes their day. So you can always do that.
Yeah,
You listen.
always.
You be the presence wherever you go,
Yeah.
and you just don't know what the effects of that are. And it doesn't matter. It's not up to you to determine the effects on the other person. You give these gifts freely. You feel expanded, and they accept it or they don't. Maybe they're a very miserable bank teller and they don't really respond. Well, it's like, it doesn't matter, because you gave it anyway, and because you gave it, you connected with it in your own mind, and
so it is
so
an unconditional giving.
yeah.
I'm not
That's-
looking for a response or a smile or an acknowledgement
No.
or compliment.
No.
I'm just giving it because I
Yeah, it
can.
has to be. Otherwise, it's conditional. Oh, well, I'm only giving it, and I only give it if someone's responsive and someone's going to acknowledge it. And well, okay, what happens if they don't then? Oh, okay, well then I limit my giving. Well, then it's not unconditional love anymore.
Yeah.
It becomes conditional. Oh, I do it if I get a response, if I get a reward. So you don't. It's like I give it because that's all that love can do. Love gives. It extends, it gives, it expands. If I'm that love, that loving presence, then I must do that. There's no choice.
Yeah.
And in doing that, I feel, irrespective of what the other person thinks or feels, like I feel expanded. So why wouldn't I want to feel expanded wherever I am?
Yeah.
I would not want to feel expanded and sustained and loved and connected. And this makes my life into something extraordinary. It's an extraordinary, ordinary experience of love in operation through me, doing my life, this apparent life, human life. Love's now doing it for me, and I can experience expansion, extension, inspiration, peace, joy, happiness, all of it, as I allow it to come through me. And why would I deprive myself of that experience? It makes complete sense, but to actually live this way, it takes some vigilance, doesn't it? It's practice. It's so easy to just go into the ego's, very limited way of operating. Oh, okay, I'm in the bank now. Okay, just get it done, whatever. And not really see the opportunity for a holy encounter, and for that, extraordinary, ordinary experience to happen in the bank, or whatever, wherever you happen to be. You're on, as you said, you're online with the person trying to sort out a problem. But if you remember the presence, then it just transforms every situation, especially the difficult ones. If you're in nature and you're having a nice walk, okay, well, it's maybe quite easy to be connected to it. Yeah, I'm feeling the presence. It's not difficult. There's expansion. It's a nice day. Yeah, I'm feeling happy naturally. But it's when we're not, in the times when you're getting challenged, that we need to call upon these lessons. Remind yourself, I'm sustained now. I'm sustained by the love of God, and this voice is there, and it's guiding me right now.
Yeah.
And that awareness transforms the experience. Okay, happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
John?
yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. So John has to go in, what are we, an hour, John?
Yeah.
So shall we dive into the text and then do a meditation at the end?
That would be great for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You happy
sure.
with that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
Okay, so let's dive into the text, and if John has to go and miss the meditation, then we'll just do it. Okay, where are we? end of day reflection. Oh, where's my cursor disappeared to?
So you're having to remind me.
My control, right? Okay. Where are we? Right. Okay, so this one's called the treasure of God. So, without further ado, I think it's John's turn. Do you want to read paragraph 1?
Yep. Okay, the treasure of pure formless awareness. We are the joint will of the sonship, the extension of oneness, whose wholeness is for all. We begin the journey back by setting out together and gathering our brothers as we continue together. Every gain in our strength is offered for all, so they too can lay aside their weakness and add their strength to us. Love's welcome waits for us all, and it will welcome us as I am welcoming you. Forget not the state of oneness for anything the world has to offer.
Okay.
So, a very high level statement there about oneness and how we are all joined together in our journey back to oneness, which we never left anyway.
Gather in our brothers. So, idea of mighty companions. We go together on the journey. It's a nice image. Jesus guiding us, and he's leading us all back. And we all really, we're one in this. We're all on the same journey.
Yeah.
Okay. And number 3.
Every step forward is every win is a win for everybody.
Oh, and then he refers to strength again. So that
Yeah.
comes back to your earlier point.
Yeah.
Our strength. So strength is really the certainty, isn't it? I think that's for me, that's how it translates. Every gain in our certainty. Strength is this deep knowing. Strength is knowing. Like, it's not a belief anymore, it's a knowing.
Yeah.
And that's offered for all. So we're not alone in that. As our strength grows, so we offer it to others, because it's one mind that's atoning. And so then we help our brothers. They too can lay aside their weakness and add their strength to us. So we cooperate, we reinforce each other, we strengthen each other, and I think that's the beauty of community, isn't it? Spiritual community is lovely, in that we feel the connection, we feel empowered and strengthened because there's other people on the same journey. You go, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not crazy. I guess that's why, if you look at Findhorn, that's why it was set up to start with. It's like, okay, well, let's get together and like-minded people joining as one, and we strengthen each other if we live in community. And we realize we're not crazy. Maybe the world's crazy, and we're actually the sane ones. We're the ones trying to find sanity in this crazy world. And so we join together to strengthen ourselves. It makes sense. Okay, and then number 4. Oh, this is a lovely line. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to read that again, John?
Yes. God's love's welcome waits for all of us, and it will welcome us as I am welcoming you.
So just this like open arms welcome. You've been like the prodigal son. You might have been wandering in the wilderness, but It doesn't matter. You're welcome. That's why I always start the session with welcome. Welcome. It's like, okay, welcome. You're welcome to join, and welcome into this loving embrace. Really, that's what Jesus is saying. The loving embrace of this loving presence. And then forget not the kingdom of God, or the state of pure formless awareness, or anything the world has to offer. So again, a very clear, don't forget it for anything the world seems to offer, because then you deny it, and then you're in the illusion. Okay, happy with number 1?
Yeah.
The world can bring nothing to the power and the glory of love and his holy extensions, but it can blind the extensions to the source if they behold it. You cannot behold the world and know love. Only one is true. I am come to tell you that the choice of which is true is not yours to make. If it were, you would have destroyed yourself. Yet love did not will the destruction of its
What that is?
Extensions, creation. Yeah. Having created them for eternity.
Having extended them for eternity.
Having extended them for eternity. Its awareness has saved you, not from yourself, but from your illusion of yourself. Love has saved you for yourself. That's amazing. So this world is nothing, is infinitesimal compared to the power and the glory of love and us, but it can blind us to the source if we perhaps it's saying it's too much. If we look directly into the sun, we're blinded, aren't we? It leaves us, with bright spots dancing in our. Is that correct analogy?
Yeah, I think what he's meaning, it can blind the sense. The world can blind the sense.
The world can blind. Oh, I see.
The world, not the light, not the world can blind the sense to the Father. They behold it. So what happens is our physical sight and our perceptions of the world blind us if we behold it. So we make it real in our mind by beholding it. I mean, look at the word behold. Yep. Behold. We are holding it in our mind. We're holding it in our perceptions. And so we are holding ourselves to the world. And that's why he starts with the changing our perception. Saying you've got to start questioning your perception of this world is real. Otherwise, you behold it as real, and it will blind you to the source. You will not see the source of pure formless awareness. You will see the form. You will focus on the form, and you'll lose yourself in the world.
So that's what number 2 is saying. You cannot do this and know love for your formless awareness. Only one is true, and I'm come to tell you, it's not your choice to make. If I'd left it to you, you would have destroyed yourself. Yet, because I am loved by, and I am the extension of love, and have been extended for all eternity, love would not have me destroy myself. Its awareness, love's awareness, has saved me from my illusion of this guilty, small, frightened, disempowered creature. I have been saved for myself, set on the right track, pointed in the right direction. Yeah.
You cannot destroy yourself. Just the mere fact that we're having a conversation, you're present, you have some awareness, means you haven't destroyed yourself. So it's so blindingly obvious. Of course you haven't. Whatever you think you've done, whatever false beliefs still reside in your mind, you haven't destroyed yourself.
No.
You still have awareness. You still have a mind. You can think. So clearly we haven't. The ego just, it's an impossible idea that you can actually destroy love.
Yeah.
Puts us in an impossible situation where we seem to be human, seem to be separated from that, seem to be alive, but we're not really alive. That's what Jesus is saying. This isn't really life. This is like an illusion of life,
Yeah.
false life. True life is, the eternal life of oneness, being your mind being in this pure formless awareness. That's life. This is just a fake version of life. And we call it life. The ego's trying to convince us that this is life. This is existence, this is reality, this is life, this is all we have. And if we behold this world as real, and we say, yeah, this is real, this is reality, then we deny God. It's as simple as that. Because pure formless awareness and form do not reconcile. You can't reconcile them. So, you must choose again, saying, you have to choose between these. And fortunately, the choice you think you've made to choose the illusion over the truth doesn't mean that the truth is not true. The truth is still true. You've just got to now accept it back into your awareness. It's still there. But you've just chosen to forget it. So now you must choose to remember.
Yeah.
So simple, really, just such a simple teaching. But
Yeah.
well, to accept it is the hard thing. It says
Yeah.
your trouble in accepting this is the problem of the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the problem, we don't want to accept it.
Yeah.
Because we think somehow that this reality offers us more than the kingdom of heaven would, than the state of pure formless awareness would.
Yes. Or this belief that we're undeserving and we're actually beyond the pale. We are irrevocable, irrevocably guilty, irrevocably sinful. Yeah.
That's the ego's. That is the ego's foundational belief.
Yeah.
It has to believe that. Otherwise, it's tickets for it. Otherwise, you go, well, okay, I don't have to believe that anymore. I'm not guilty. I'm innocent. And if I'm innocent, then in truth, the ego never happened. The separation never happened. And this is the thing it fears the most. I never happened. Oh, massive defenses towards that.
Oh, wow.
You notice when we say these things, the ego never happened. So the separation never happened, the world never happened. That means your life never happened. Whoa, the ego's got made, your life never happened. And if you find it easy to get your head around it, then you're enlightened. But most people don't. It's like, my life never happened. So I'm living this illusory life. It never really happened. What I'm experiencing now never really happened. I'm just dreaming.
Oh.
It's a mind blower, isn't it? When you really start trying to wrap your head around it.
Yeah.
But it does take you, by these kind of ideas, these mental games, call them, it does take you into another awareness. And you start looking differently on yourself and on the world. And that's the point. Change your perception of it. I was looking at myself the other day in the mirror. I was going, what is this? This is such a weird thing, this body. Suddenly things called ears and a nose. Like, what? Like, we take it all for granted. But look at it. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like that we've just, we've got so habituated to it. But if you actually just look from a perspective of like, okay, I've never seen this before. You go like, what is this weird thing we're in, this body? So eyes and ears and nose, and then the body's got to eat, and like I've got to bathe it and clean it, and whoa, it's like you just sometimes you have these moments. It's like, this is weird. Like, what is going on here? We take it for granted because we're born into it. We're born into the body, and it's like, okay, well, that's what our minds have got used to. What he's trying to do here is go, no, okay, start questioning all of these fundamental assumptions and start undoing this deep-seated belief in the body and the world, and this is reality. Questioning it at its foundations. Okay, happy with number 2?
Yeah.
Yep.
Moving swiftly on. They're actually quite short paragraphs, so we might actually get through this, John. Number 3.
Let us glorify him whom the world denies. For over his kingdom, his state of awareness, the world has no power. No one created by love can find joy in anything except the eternal. Not because he is deprived of anything else, but because nothing else is worthy of him. What God, what pure formless awareness and its extensions create is eternal. And what we mean by eternal is beyond time. And in this and only this is their joy.
So maybe translate creators extend.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Number 2 and 3 and see how that goes.
Yes. No one extended. No one who has been.
No one extended by love.
No one extended by love can find joy in anything except the eternal. Not because he is deprived of anything else, but because nothing else is worthy of him. Yeah.
So only eternal beingness is going to satisfy you. The temporary, anything that's temporary, that fades away, is not worthy of you.
Yeah.
Simple. Saying don't attach your mind to what's not worthy of you.
Yeah.
It's not actually going to satisfy you. And of course, it's going to fade. You attach your mind to it, and then it's going to disappear. That's what happens. In time, nothing lasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 3.
Yeah, that's good.
You're going to read number 3 as well.
Oh, what love and its extensions extend is eternal. And in this and only this is their joy.
So we extend as pure formless awareness, as love extends, because we are that presence. We are the extension of it, and it extends through us in one line. There's no real separation between the source and the extension. That's what he's trying to teach us. So we create as God creates. We extend as love extends through us. In this and only this is their joy. So if you allow, to refer back to our conversation, you allow love to extend through you in your seemingly ordinary experiences, they become extraordinary because you're bringing eternity. You're bringing this timeless presence of love, which is what everyone actually yearns for, into your experience and extending it to all of your brothers. And you become then the extender or creator of this kingdom, this state of love, of pure formless awareness in the world. And that is your mission here. That's the only thing you're here to do. And that's going to bring you joy. Only that's going to bring you joy, nothing else. So it's giving us the key to a very joyful life. If we just allow this love to extend through us, however it wants to. You're not in charge of that. You go with it. You allow it. You become done through, as David Hoffmeister says. And then joy is the result. So instead of wanting happiness, the danger of like pursuing happiness, saying, no, I want happiness for myself, is you'll never get it. It's like the butterfly you're pursuing and you're never going to get it. But if you just sit quietly and you allow love to extend through you, and then you act on it, then joy comes. It has to. So this is the flow. When you surrender to the flow, then joy is your natural result. And you don't need to worry about being happy. It will just happen as a natural consequence of extending love through you. So stop trying to be happy and just just allow love to extend through you, and then happiness will be there inevitably. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy with number 3?
Listen to the story of the prodigal son and learn what love's treasure is and yours. Is it the prodigal extension?
This son of a loving father. No, I think because it's a parable.
Yeah, we'll keep it as son.
We'll keep it a son. He was talking about son,
Yeah.
and that's the parable.
This son of a loving father left his home and thought he had squandered everything for nothing of any value, although he had not understood its worthlessness at the time. He was ashamed to return to his father because he thought he had hurt him. Yet when he came home, the father welcomed him with joy because the son himself was his father's treasure. He wanted nothing else. So this parable is the whole essence of this point, this chapter. The treasure, the son is the father's treasure, and I, as an extension of love, am our love's treasure. And and love wants nothing else but that treasure.
But to welcome you into its embrace, to welcome you home, and say, welcome home. You've been wandering in the wilderness, and you think you're ashamed, you think you've done all these things wrong, but actually you're most welcome. And so it's a lovely parable.
It is beautiful.
To explain, the on spiritual level, what's actually happening with us. We think we like the prodigal son. We've wandered off. We squandered our inheritance. We're living with the pigs, literally, because that's what happened in the parable. And then finally, the son comes to his senses and says, "This is just crazy. What am I doing? Let me return to my father's house, and it would be better to be a servant in his house, and not be a son, because now he thinks he's not worthy to be a son, than to live like this." And so then he, that hitting the bottom, rock bottom, as Kenneth says. He's living with the pigs. Then he's going to turn around and he's going to take the journey home. That's the turnaround. That's the transformation. Okay, I'm gonna go home, and now I'm more humbled. I've learned some lessons, and instead of the father saying, "Oh well, you're not worthy," the father welcomes him home. Says, "Welcome, because actually you're my treasure, and all I want is you in my home."
Yeah.
My home has been bereft without you, and so there's this lovely idea that you're not judged, you're not condemned. The father doesn't judge you at all. Just total love, unconditional love. Really, that's what the story is designed to teach us.
Absolutely.
This is the nature of God, our Father, our source, is this unconditional, welcoming presence, irrespective of what you've done on the level of form. Doesn't matter.
Brilliant.
So a lovely parable to just teach. And I think this was, as a teacher, Jesus was really a genius, because he was able to tell these stories, these parables, to illustrate these principles on a level that people could understand. Because he was talking of pure formless awareness and illusion, and they wouldn't have got it.
No.
He told the parable and said, okay, we can understand that.
Yeah.
So he took his teaching, this high-level teaching, and he framed it in a way that people could understand on whatever level they could understand. I think still his parables were misinterpreted, and even his disciples didn't fully understand it. But he did his best. He was like, okay, I'll teach these in a way that's gonna make sense. That brings it down to the very practical level. His parables were about life situations that people could understand. Father leaving his son. Okay, we can understand that. We can understand the sower going into the field and sowing. It was an agricultural society. They understood that. And so used these to used form to explain principles and concepts that are beyond form, which is good teaching. So he's bringing that parable to our minds again. Say, well, we can learn from it. Still, 2,000 years later, It's a timeless message. Okay, happy with that. I think that's pretty straightforward. Parable of the prodigal son. We all know it. Okay, so number 5.
Yeah. Love wants only its extension, because its extension is its treasure. Its only treasure. You want your extensions, creations, as it wants its. Your extensions are your gift to the source of oneness, extended in gratitude for your extension.
Yeah.
It's a bit awkward. They do not leave you any more than you left your source, your extension, your oneness, but they extend your beingness as love extended itself to you.
Yeah, that was a good translation.
Can the extensions of love themselves take joy in what is not real? And what is real accept the extensions of love and those that are extended like it. Your creations love. Your extensions love you as you love your source for the gift of extension. There is no other gift that is eternal, and therefore there is no other gift that is true. How then can you accept anything else or give anything else and expect joy in return? And what else but joy would you want? You made neither yourself nor your function. You made only the decision to be unworthy of both. Yet you cannot make yourself unworthy, because you are the treasure of love, pure formless awareness, and what it values is valuable. There can be no question of its worth. Value lies in love sharing itself with it and establishing its value forever.
It's a nice one.
Yeah.
Treasure of God. So talking about worth and unworthiness, which goes to the very core of what we did in the Art of Letting Go course.
Yeah.
Bringing up the unworthiness and saying, but it's impossible. You can't be unworthy, because you are the treasure of love. You have been extended by it, and it values you. So the idea of unworthiness is a complete blasphemy, if you like. It's just totally untrue. There can be no question of its worth.
I like number 8 especially. There is no other gift that is eternal.
And therefore there's no other gift that is true. So our worth, our true worth, is the eternal gift of God or love to us. When we accept that, we say, I am love, and we really feel it. That's the gift. And then we accept that we are the treasure of God. We are that loving presence that is it. We're just accepting it now. So now we become the extension of it again. We recognize that we are just the extension of that love. And we come home. This is our home. This awareness is our home. Okay? I'll give a little summary of that paragraph. There's a bit going on there, but it's really saying one simple thing. So what's the key point?
Our treasure, the only treasure that we have which is eternal, is our connection with oneness, which is love, and we extend, and that is what we extend in our.
And there can be no question of your worth. So this goes directly to what we did in the art of letting go. You know, it's the worthiness. The ego's game is to tell you that you're unworthy, and so you are the prodigal son who's forever condemned to, you know, be outside of the father's house and to wander in the wilderness, and it tells you that you're unworthy to return, and yet your worth is beyond question. So when you acknowledge it, you know, so we did that naming your game and flipping your flop exercise, you are acknowledging the true worth you have, and that's why it feels transformational, because you're accepting it back into your mind. So yes, I am love, I am that worth, and I've denied it, but I accept it back, and then we feel the extension of that loving presence into our mind, and it feels joyful and expansive, and wow, like just a simple acceptance of it. Quite amazing, really, I think. But this is what the mind is capable of. Our mind. If we believe in unworthiness, and then suddenly you change your mind, you say, no, actually, I'm worthy. It's a transformation. Your entire state of mind and being changes quite dramatically, as you experienced. So remind me next time we will, in the naming your game, in the flipping your flop, we'll read this paragraph. I think it's a great paragraph to read, because it speaks directly to what that process is actually about from the course perspective. Okay?
Yeah.
Happy with number 5? Number 6? I think you're muted, Iona.
Your function is to add to love's treasure by creating yours. It's
Remember, creating is extending.
Sorry, by extending yours. Kenneth's laughing.
Sorry.
Your function is to add to love's treasure by extending yours. Its awareness to you is its awareness for you. It would not withhold extension from you because its joy is in it. You cannot find joy except as love does. Its joy lay in extending you, and it extends its source to you so you can extend yourself as it did. You do not understand this because you do not understand love. No one who does not accept its function, his function, can understand what it is, and no one can accept his function unless he knows what he is. Extension is the awareness of love. Its awareness extended you to create.
Extend.
Okay. Extended you to extend, to extend more. Your awareness was not extended separate from love's, and so you must be aware as
it is aware.
It is aware. Yes.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of
It's fun though. It's my
mental gymnastics.
Yeah, I always feel my mind is more like an elastic band after having done this. It sort of pings in and out. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As your friend said, well, are you getting any intellectual stimulation?
Yeah.
Okay, try this one on for size.
No, not really. No, it's all a bit mundane. Yeah, that completely floored me. And I was just, yeah. But yeah, okay. So I love this because he's saying, you know, the only way to do this is to keep extending. Keep extending your treasure. You've been given it. You know, it's infinite. You've got sort of infinite box of Lego here to create with.
which is amazing. You feel that power. It's like, talk about power and strength. It's like whoosh. Like if I allow this to come through me, there's nothing I can't do.
Oh, yeah.
Extraordinary.
It is extraordinary.
Extraordinary power, and there's no self-investment in it. It's not my power. It's the power coming through me. So I'm not attached to it. And I don't feel like I can lose it because I'm not attached to it. It's not like mine. I have to protect this and preserve it. It's just like a river running through me, just like, you know, a river in flood just gushing through me, and like, let me just allow that to happen. And I feel this, you know, amazing love, expansion, extension in my own experience. And then I can't fail to be happy and joyful. It's impossible not to be when that river of life itself is running through you.
I think we've touched on this before about the 12 labors of Hercules and the cleaning of the Aegean stables, which he managed by diverting the river.
Yes.
You know, a seemingly impossible task, but there was
Yes.
the full mighty force of the river. So the stables were, you know, immaculate.
Yeah, not a problem. Just
Not a problem.
You know, wash it all through. But
So in
you have
many
to think,
ways, this is us diverting the river, getting rid of the blocks, the egoic blocks in us. To
saying,
allow
well, this
Mm.
torrent,
Yeah.
you know, nothing can withstand it. The ego's little walls that it's built, and you know, it's built up all these blockades to try and dam the river up, and it's just bring it through. Just allow it, you know, to rush through you, and enjoy the ride. I mean, it's you know, so what
I
can you
love
say?
sentence number 5. The joy was totally sought by extending me. You know, this was the whole purpose of it. And I love this. It's just absolutely unconditionally mine, to extend with, to then extend out in the world.
Do you find that the word extension rather than creation works better? I mean, you're welcome to use either because they're just pointers. But for me, creation always implies, oh well, it wasn't there, now it's being created.
No, extending is great.
I think, yeah, because it's this idea of, it's just this, it's a source that's always there, and it's now just, you know, extending through me. So,
I think it goes well with the idea of the Big Bang. You know, this constantly expanding universe.
Yeah, that's, you know, on the level of form, you know, the ego is doing that, but underneath that, underlying this, is the power of love that on which it all rests.
Well, that's right. Yeah,
that's always there, and it's you know, you could say it's ever increasing, because there's no limit to it. In fact, a lot of the cosmologists, you know, when they started, they were looking for a stable state. There's a guy called Fred Hoyle. His theory was that the universe is a stable, you know, it's a stable state, until Stephen Hawking came and overturned that in the 60s. But what they were looking for, you know, psychologically, is they're looking for the certainty. You know, the reason why you're looking for a stable state is because there's a part of their mind that wants God, that wants the stable state of oneness. The problem is they're looking in the universe where nothing is stable. In this universe, it's based on the split. It's based on the idea of separation, and so everything's changing all the time. But psychologically, we're all looking for that. You know, Einstein looking for the grand unified theory, because everyone's seeking salvation, and then they just do it however, whatever their modality is, science. In the end, science points you there, because beyond the Big Bang, what's there? Beyond time zero.
Yeah, that's where I was.
At time zero, they don't know what happens then. There's no models that explain that.
So it's in my mind, it's infinitely plausible that there was this uniform, this I amness just expanding and expanding and expanding. Yeah.
And then a tiny mad idea came in and just went,
Mm.
oh, and we'll have
Yeah.
another idea. Poof, pop, we'll blow that idea up into a whole alternate reality we'll now call the physical universe. And the mind's got hijacked into that reality and it's now believed that.
Yeah.
And we are little fragments of the mind
Yeah.
now going, what the hell, what the hell's going on here? Where are we? What are we? Who are we? What
What did
happened?
we do? Uh-huh.
Why did this happen? Because that it's all got split and fragmented. And now the journey is back to the wholeness. The fragments of the mind must start recognizing the truth that actually that oneness, the wholeness is still there. They haven't really fragmented, right? The fragmentation never really happened.
Yeah.
Separation never really happened. So we're still one with our source, and that's still extending through us. Doesn't matter that we think we now have done this and we think we're knocking around in a physical universe and we think we have bodies. That's all just miscreation. It's not true. Actually, this source is still extending in our minds. The source is the very foundation of our being, without which we would have no life. We would have no awareness without this fundamental awareness. That's what it's saying. So it's extending through you all the time. Gives you your life. It gives you your awareness. So all we have to do is recognize that and say, yes, okay, I recognize that. I accept it. And then all of this is undone. It doesn't matter that we're still knocking around in bodies for a while, seemingly having to play the game on in this illusory world. We feel connected. We feel expanded. And now that source expands through us into this world to undo these beliefs. Say, no, there's another way here. So we become the love of the world, or the light of the world. And it acts through us. And there's nothing else to do. That's why we're here.
Amazing.
If that doesn't inspire you, nothing will. That's the whole.
Healing. Yeah. Allow it.
That's the whole purpose of your journey here. And when you come into that true function, then you can't help but feel joyful and inspired. It's inevitable. Depression and doubt and fear. It's like, what? What are those? Those don't exist anymore. It's just ridiculous. Crazy ideas that I once entertained and I once believed in. Now the source is just running through me like a rushing torrent, and its power is unlimited, and I'm just going to allow that. I'm not going to block it anymore. I'm just going to allow that and allow it to direct my thoughts and my words and my actions moment by moment. And then watch out, world. If people start doing this, the world changes. We saw Jesus, one guy who went into this state for a few years of his life. Look at what he did. So imagine a world where hundreds, thousands, millions of people are doing this. Like, can the existing system sustain that? It just can't. It's going to fall apart. Cannot. It's like the river rushing through. It's just going to blow all of those obstacles away. Just cannot sustain against the power of that spirit. And so that's what we're going to live through, I think, in the remainder of our lifetimes. Like, just watch that happen. Yeah. The awakening, the at-one-ment just surging through and really transforming everything. All of the systems and the structures of the ego that we've got so familiar with, just being blown away by this enormous power. It's pretty exciting times, really. It's the quickening. It's the time of the awakening. And we're living through it. Like, also, what else would you want? Like, is there another life you'd want? Would you want to be anywhere else, doing anything else? It's like, this is it. It's happening right now. The call is right here, right now, happening. And yeah, I find that enormously inspiring to get up every day and go, okay, so what's going to unfold today?
It does feel like a huge adventure every day.
Yeah, exactly. It's a huge, and like, okay, I'm going into the unknown, and it's thrilling. It's amazing because I don't feel fearful. Most people feel fearful about the unknown, but when you have this power running through you and you feel the quickening of it, you're like, amazing. Okay, just use me, take me. You do it. I'm part of a process that's way bigger than just my little self. My little ego has no conception of this power and this process. So I just have to step out the way, just get it out the way, and that's the vigilance. That's the only vigilance you need. Just get it out the way. Just keep releasing it as the thoughts and the emotions of the ego come up. Just release them and allow this power just to flow through you more and more. And then just see what happens. Enjoy the ride. You know, who knows what's going to happen? But stuff's going to happen for sure if you're allowing that power to flow through you, and you're acting on it. You know, it depends on what stage you're in life. So, John, you know, you're retired. You might not be acting terribly much, and that's okay. But you feel the power, and it's more of a being power, and it's just a still, quiet presence, and that, you know, that transforms your life in its way, transforms your experience. You're not necessarily doing stuff, but if you feel inspired, if you feel the call to do, then you know that inspired doing. There's nothing that's more powerful than that. Taking inspired action. Okay, happy with number 5? Have we done number 5? I think we're good with that.
I think didn't we just do
Done
number
6.
6?
Yeah, we've done 6. Are we happy with 6?
Yeah, that's good.
Number 7.
An unwilling will. So an unawareness does not mean anything.
An unaware awareness. Say it that way. I mean, it doesn't. It's a paradox, isn't it? An unaware awareness.
We can just call it unawareness. Does not mean anything.
Well, but there's it's an oxymoron. An unaware awareness. How can an awareness be unaware? Not possible. An unaware awareness does not mean anything.
Awareness.
Being a contradiction in terms, it actually means nothing. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. It's just crazy. And this is the ego's whole existence, an unaware awareness. It has some awareness, but it's unaware of its true awareness. I mean, like, what does that actually mean? Nothing, as he says.
When you think you are unwilling to be aware, God, unwilling to be aligned, God, with love, you are not thinking.
Yeah, that's quite a difficult one. When you think you are unaware of pure formless awareness, that's how I'd say that.
Love's awareness is thought. It cannot be contradicted by thought, by other thought. Love does not contradict itself, and its extension are like it, cannot contradict themselves or it. Yet their thought is so powerful that they can even imprison mind the awareness of love's extension, if they so choose. This choice does make the sun's function, the extension's function, unknown to him, but never to his source, his maker. And
don't use maker, because the ego makes.
Never to his source. And because it is not unknown to its source, it is forever knowable to it.
To him, yeah.
To him.
He's talking about us in our seemingly separated state.
At which point I'm going to have to go. Okay. So, thank you.
You want to give us a little summary before you go? You got time?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So unconsciousness, unwillingness to truth is a state of nothingness. And though the truth can be hidden, it is never lost. because it is always there. Cannot be contradicted.
And the stuff about thought, I think this is quite meaningful because we've had this discussion about, well, what is true thought? And he's defining it again here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought we had translated thought as awareness.
Yeah, that's a fair translation. So God's will is thought. So love's awareness
Is
thought, right? This awareness is thought. That's what he's trying to say to us. Thought, as we define thought, I, subject, see you, object, person, place, thing outside of myself, and now I think about you. This isn't really thought.
Yeah. Gotta go. Thanks, Jono. Great to see you, Iona. Great to see you, Kelly.
Okay.
see you.
All right. So no session tonight, John. I'll see you tomorrow.
No. Yep.
Oh,
See you then.
Bye.
Okay.
wonderful.
So let's just spend a bit of time unpacking this, because
Yeah.
he's actually redefining thought here for us. And he's actually saying thought, as we think of thought, is not really thought.
I have here that both will and thought are awareness.
Yeah.
So love's awareness, is true awareness.
And that is what we call thought. That is actually true thought with a capital T.
Yeah.
Just that awareness. Thought is not subject-object dualistic thought as we think of thought. I have a thought about going to the bank. I have a thought about making us a cup of tea. We have hundreds of these thoughts every day.
Yeah.
That's not really thought. Thought is this awareness. No subject-object, just pure awareness of this awareness as our awareness. That's true thought. That's God's thought. And that's where he's directing us. He's saying, what you think isn't true.
So when there's a capital T, that's pure thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
The capitalization and then lower T, it cannot be contradicted by thought.
No, exactly.
We think with the mind of the ego, and we think now it's contradicted. This pure formless awareness is contradicted, but it actually cannot be contradicted. Love doesn't contradict itself, and its extensions who are like it cannot contradict themselves or it. Okay, if we're just pure formless awareness, there's no contradiction to that. That's all we are. And any other thought is simply not real. It doesn't exist.
And in 6, would you say yet their awareness is so powerful that they can even imprison the mind of love's extension?
No, I'd say thought there, because he's saying what you've done is this is the delusion. We've taken our awareness and we've made up this thing called thought with a lower T. But now it's able to take that awareness and we think in these very specific ways, directed by the idea of separation. We think, okay, I'm a separate person, and now I have, this and this going on in my life, and I have to think about it, and I have to manage my life, and I've got all this stuff that I've got to do, and and it's very exhausting. If you're honest with yourself, it's a constant strain and struggle, because it's not true. So all of that thought, the entire construct, is not true.
So we have forgotten our awareness. We've forgotten our pure awareness and replaced it with seemingly private thought.
Yeah.
Or the belief in private thought.
And dualistic thought based on the idea of separation. I, subject, now see or perceive object. That's dualistic thought right there. Because I seem to be separate from what I'm perceiving. So there's the split in the mind. And we made that real, and that has imprisoned our mind. We've now got lost in this little bubble of thought that's false, based on that false idea of separation, created an entire reality to support that. And it's all pretty limiting and pretty dark. Because to do that, we have to have denied true thought, this true awareness that's beyond dualistic thought entirely. It just is.
Yeah.
But fortunately, it's still there. It's not unknown to its source. Okay? So that state of awareness is still there. So it's forever knowable to us, even though we've now in a delusion. It's still, we can remember it.
Yes.
Still available to us.
Oh, okay.
Powerful paragraph. So
Yeah, it really
redefining
is.
thought here. And many, like I've seen many spiritual teachings, but very few of them. In fact, I don't think I've seen another one that goes and says, okay, this is what thought actually is. I've heard Eckhart, and Eckhart's a great teacher, but he'll say, oh, well, the thinking mind is a useful tool. No, the thinking mind is not useful at all. The thinking mind, the ego's thinking mind, that's the problem. It's not a useful tool. It keeps us, it seems to be useful in this world because it's like gets things done, but it keeps us making it all real. It keeps the problem going because we think it's real. Okay, now we've got to find solutions on the level of form. So, oh yeah, really useful. No, not bloody useful at all if you want to go back to pure formless awareness. Not at all. It's got just a major distraction because you keep using your thinking mind to now try and solve the illusory problems that it's made up in the first place. As Einstein said, the significant problems we face can't really be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them.
Yeah.
Separation made them all up. Now you use the thinking mind that invented separation to try and solve the problems that invented in the first place. And you think you're getting somewhere. We call this progress. We call this scientific progress and technology. And it is ridiculous. You're just doing more of the same thing, spinning your wheels around in an illusion, not going anywhere. Because you're still going to die. They've never invented a technology that prevents death and sickness and suffering. And so nothing's really changed. You temporarily have, some conveniences in your illusion. Technology that, allows us to communicate and, oh, aren't we so clever? But the fundamentals of the ego are still very much intact. Suffering, pain, sickness, loss, death. And we see, look at, we're the most advanced point in human civilization, supposedly. And yet, look at what's happened the last 2 years. Suddenly you have a pandemic and everyone's locked down and there's all this suffering. Like, what? So this is advanced? This is sophisticated? Like, seriously? You got to laugh. I mean, the ego is just ridiculous when you look at it honestly. It's just crazy. And yet, this awareness, this true awareness, is still there. Just saying, just remember me.
Yeah.
All of this craziness is nothing. Just come home.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we're in a time where that's never been more possible.
Yeah.
Because of the availability of this kind of information, of the technology. It's just like a synergy. It's like, wow, it can all come together. And if you really want to awaken, I mean, you can really do it quickly now in this time because of the technology. So that's the only real use of it. If technology is used to help you awaken, then great. It's been used for its true purpose. Everything else is a waste of time.
I just, when I was looking back at the screen and I read God's will is thought, love's awareness is awareness. I wanted it to italicize the will. God's will. God's awareness is awareness.
Yeah.
Awareness is awareness.
Yeah, there's no other awareness. This is what it's such a simple message. You're saying this is it. There's only one awareness. There is no other thought. You are deluded. If you think you can think without the mind of God, without this awareness, then you are delusional. And this is the entire delusion of the ego's thought system. It's thought that it can think without that awareness. And it splits itself off into a little bubble of thought, and it's created or miscreated, made up an entire alternate reality to justify that awareness, that alternative awareness that it's created.
So if I right inside and extending love's mind, then I cannot contradict myself or love.
No. And then your actions will be directed by the source of all life. Every action is now directed by this primal intelligence, this source without which nothing would be. I mean, like, could we ask for anything more? And that power is enormous. If you start to tap into it, you go, whoa, That's
Yeah.
that's just totally mind-blowing. The ego can't get its head around that.
Yeah.
It never will. You can't really logically understand it. It's
Yeah.
not logical, but it's a feeling. And that source, because there's one plan, you see, that at one-man plan is that source is going to come into every mind and awaken every mind to itself. That's the plan. That's the plan of God. So now you become part of that greater plan.
Yeah.
If you allow it. And it's going to direct you in ways that you just mind-blowing. You can't even conceive of the kind of synchronicity and connection and miracles that can happen because it knows the whole picture. This is the Holy Spirit knows. It knows everyone and every separate mind is now united in this one awareness, in this one mind. So it knows the whole picture. It's like, okay, so we can make these relationships and connections, things happen that you don't even know. You're unaware of them. You don't even know someone exists necessarily. And you might meet them tomorrow and you have a holy encounter and you change their life and they change yours. And so saying, just surrender to this. This is way, way bigger than the ego's thought can even conceive of. So if you try and manage your life yourself and you're setting your little goals and it's just ridiculous. You can't even conceive of the power that's available if you do this. And it's just moment by moment, surrender moment by moment, and allow it to direct your words and your thoughts and your actions. And you can't go wrong because it's going to direct you as part of this greater plan. It's going to direct you to do exactly what you need to do in the plan so that you can then be part of other people's plan. So we atone together. And it's just mind-blowing. You can't even conceive of an intelligence that can do that, but it can. And all you have to do, you don't have to understand the whole plan. You just have to tap in and listen to your part. Say, okay, just let me be guided in what I'm supposed to do. Because if I do that, then I know that I'm playing my part and I'm helping everyone else. I'm being truly helpful to the sonship. And then you can relax. You're like, okay, I don't have to manage this.
No.
Jesus or the Holy Spirit's got this. It's being orchestrated by an intelligence that I can't really fathom, but I can experience it and I can allow it to come through me and I can do my part, and that's all that's needed. If I do my part, then I'm doing what I should do, and I'm being truly helpful to the whole plan. And then we can relax into that and go, okay, I don't have to worry. It's all taken care of. So then fear is not justified at all. Well, why am I fearing if I'm part of this grand at-one-man plan? And I know it's a done deal. The one-man is a done deal. The source will take every mind back to oneness, including mine. So what am I worried about? There's nothing to worry about. Whatever temporary experiences show up on the road, it's like, okay, that's just part of the experience. That's part of the journey, back to oneness. It's
another
really not
opportunity to let go.
Yeah. Think of it as a drop. You're a drop in the river. And you just the drop finally is aware that it's actually part of something much bigger. You're not just this little drop. You're part of this torrent, this rushing torrent.
Yeah.
And whatever the drop hits, you're going to hit rocks on the way, and you might get stuck in a little pool for a while. It doesn't matter because there's this process. You're part of this bigger flow, and you're going back to source, back to the ocean. That's your destination.
Mm-hmm.
And like whatever you encounter, it's all part of it. So let's say you go over a waterfall, the drop that's attached to itself. Oh my God, I'm dying. Oh, I'm falling down. Oh, hitting a rock. And actually it's all part of the journey. It's fine. There's no, you're just rushing, being taken by the torrent, by the stream down to the ocean. And it's all part of the journey. And if you don't attach to it, there's no problem. You can just kind of enjoy the ride. Oh, now I'm going over a waterfall. Woo, this feels good. Wow. Oh, I'm hitting a rock. Okay. But water is a lovely analogy because it just kind of slides past everything. It doesn't, there's no resistance. Just like, okay, we'll just like flow past the rock. We don't get stuck on the rock. We just flow through it, and it finds a way, doesn't it? So in the same way, this power is going to direct us to just find our way as part of and we realize we're not separate. We're part of the part of the flow of it. You know, everyone's actually on the same, going towards the ocean,
Yeah,
even if
true.
they don't know it. Even if they think they're a little isolated drop, they're not. They're part of this rushing torrent. And if you can help them to see that, then you rush together. You go, wow, this is a rush. We can just do it together, and we can flow together, and it's amazing. And you know, we're actually on the same journey, and we're one. We're going to the same place. We're the same drops, part of the same river, going to the same ocean. We're one. There's no separation here.
Mm,
So yeah, just nice analogy to remember.
yeah.
Okay, so number 8.
There is no question but one you should ever ask of yourself. Do I want to know the awareness of source for me? It will not hide it. It has revealed it to me because I asked it of love and learned of what it had already given. Our function is to work together because apart from each other, we cannot function at all. The whole power of love's extension lies in all of us, but not in any of us alone. Love would not have us be alone because it does not will to be alone. It does not, will to be alone. That is why it created its extension and gave him the power to create with, gave him the power to extend with
it.
Our extensions are as holy as we are, and we are the extensions of love itself, as holy as it is. Through our extensions, we extend our love and thus increase the joy of the Holy Trinity, not the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, the source, its extension.
We don't really have a translation for Holy Trinity.
No.
You could say the joy of the union of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But it's quite long, so you can keep it as Holy Trinity. So it's the idea that all these sort of seeming parts, because remember the Holy Trinity is just a learning device. All these seeming parts actually increase the joy of the whole, and in the end they merge into one. But he says you do not understand this, so okay.
Okay, so I do not understand this because you who are love's own treasure do not regard yourself as valuable. Given this belief, you cannot understand anything.
Well, it's true. If you think back to the Art of Letting Go course, the naming your game. You know, if you think that you are unworthy, you think you're unworthy of love, you think you're a victim, and that's your self-concept. Now, that self-concept is how you interpret everything in the world.
Yeah.
You're not really understanding anything. The self-concept is false.
Yeah.
So how can you understand anything truly if the concept from which the foundation of your awareness is false? Well, of course you can't understand anything. Everything's going to be misunderstood, misperceived. Everything's going to be upside down, backwards. And of course you're not going to be happy. How can you be happy if everything's upside down and backwards? It's not possible.
Yeah.
You don't really understand anything. And it comes down to this self-worth again.
Mm.
You are the treasure of God.
Mm.
You know thyself. When you know yourself, then you become aware of your value. You become aware that you are the treasure of this infinite loving presence that simply wants you. Again, we use the word wants, but it's difficult to phrase it in another way. It has an intention for you, wants you to be aware of it. That's the whole plan. So will you listen to that or not? That's the only choice. Are you going to go with it and flow with it and allow it to use you and extend through you? Or are you going to resist it and spend your whole life in resistance to this power that just wants to bless you and heal you?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to give a little summary of number 8?
Oh, well, first of all, Jesus is saying, you know, the plan is already there. I know what's here for you, and that is to work together. It's our only function to work together, because apart from each other, we cannot work at all. We're not ever alone. Our true power lies in each and every one of us. I was given absolute, it's not much easier if I talk about I was given absolute power to extend with. Yeah, my creations are as holy as the extensions of pure formless awareness itself. There is no separation, there is no hierarchy. We extend through our extensions, we keep on increasing the joy of the Holy Trinity. But I don't understand this, that I am love's own treasure, because I don't regard myself as valuable. And that belief obliterates my understanding of anything. Yeah, it's much easier when I just talk about me. Use the I.
Make it in the first person, because it makes it applicable. The whole point is application of these ideas to life.
So he's saying there's only one question I should ever ask of myself. Do I want to know the awareness of, do I want to be aware of the plan for me? Yeah.
I want to know my source's will, my source's awareness for me.
Yeah.
What is my source's awareness for me? Well, the source's awareness of you is that you are truly valued. You're truly loved. You are valuable beyond measure. You're powerful beyond measure. That's source's awareness of you, because that's source's awareness of itself. So you come to know yourself as you know your source. Know thyself. And then you can't help but value yourself, because you feel the love of that. You feel the power of it. You feel this is foundational existence. I finally come home to something I can rely on. I can rest in this. It's true. There's no doubt here. As long as I'm doubting, I'm not understanding anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually doubting who I am. I mean, what a crazy position to be in. We don't know who we are. This is what he's saying. What an insane, this means nothing. An unwilling will. An unaware awareness does not mean anything. The ego is an unaware awareness.
Does not mean anything, being a contradiction in terms that actually
means nothing. Well, that's the ego's whole existence.
Yeah.
It's an awareness, seemingly, some kind of consciousness, shall we say, because he uses the word consciousness, some kind of consciousness that's actually unaware of its source. So an unaware consciousness does not mean anything. Being a contradiction in terms, it actually means nothing. So how can you expect nothing to give you any kind of happiness, peace, certainty, anything? Nothing just spins its wheels around trying to make nothing into something, and never succeeding. The universe, physical universe, the world as we know it, is the ego's attempt to make something out of nothing, and seemingly justify it and make it real in our awareness, and say, no, this is now reality. And it's just a contradiction in terms, based on a contradiction in terms. So no wonder we experience contradiction here. No wonder the world's paradoxical. No wonder there's so much conflict. It's like, well, it's based on a contradiction in terms. Okay, happy with
well, I did try to talk about it, but I'm not really clear in my mind. What you were saying was much better. It was basically know thyself, know that you are oneness, that you are
that. Yeah, you are that presence.
You are that presence.
The oldest name of God in the Bible is I am that I am. Moses has this kind of mystic experience, the burning bush, and he says, so what should I say? I've been instructed he got guidance to go back to his people and free them. He says, so what should I say? Who should I say sent me? And the answer is, I am that I am. The I am that I am present sent me. Okay, well, there it is, right there. And yet they went on this track in the Old Testament of totally denying that and going, no, now God is some kind of God out there, and God's going to punish. But God, to Moses in that mystic experience revealed, I am that I am. That's all I am. You are that presence. In other words, the I am that I am presence is your own presence. It's who you are. And let that direct you. So it's not anywhere out there. It's your very most innermost awareness of who you are. Know thyself. You go, how could we have missed this? You look at humanity and you go, how could we have missed this for thousands of years? It's extraordinary. And yet, that's the ego for you, isn't it? Extraordinarily ridiculous self-concept that's played itself out for thousands of years and has created an entire false reality, which we've come to believe in. As he says, given this belief, you cannot understand anything.
Yeah.
You got to laugh. Fortunately, when you come into true understanding, it all just makes sense suddenly. You go, okay, I get it. I'm starting to understand what's really going on here. And I can laugh at it. It's ridiculous. And not take it seriously. It's just a joke. And all the goings on, the whatever's happening in the world, COVID and Brexit and wars in the Ukraine and politicians, doing whatever. It's just ridiculous. You got to just laugh. It's crazy. You people are all insane. You think it's real when it's not. You're just dreaming a dream, and you think it's all real, and that you're so important in the dream, and it's ridiculous. You have no idea who you are. You don't understand anything. So, we're being led, our leaders, it's the blind leading the blind. They have no idea who they are. How can they lead anyone? They can only lead us down the garden path into it's the road to nowhere. You're going nowhere fast. So then, this awakening, this is why the powers that be don't like this kind of teaching, because it's like, well, your authority is ridiculous. You have no authority. I don't respect your ego's authority at all. You see beyond it. You say, look, I see underneath that there's a soul that actually wants to be freed, but in your ego, if you're identifying with that, which you are, you know nothing. You understand nothing. You can't lead me anywhere. You can't tell me anything. That's because everything you believe is false. So why would I believe one word that comes out of your mouth? If you're identified with the ego, I'm not going to believe you at all. Therefore, you have no power over me. You have no authority. God is my authority. Love is my authority, and I'm going to listen to that and that alone. Which is why Jesus was so threatening to that whole establishment he came into. That's why they killed him, because it's undoing the authority of the Jewish authorities, the Jewish law, the Romans, challenging it all and saying this is all rubbish. Don't listen to any of this. Actually, only love is authority. And teaching that, and people were starting to get it, and they're like, oh, this is dangerous. Our worldly power is going to be threatened here. So let's kill him. But guess what? You can't kill him. It's impossible. You can't kill that power. It's eternal. It's immortal, and he demonstrated that through the resurrection. So, oh, you thought you killed me, but you can't. In fact, the power is stronger because you just did a major, that crucifixion was a major undoing of the ego, reinterpreted by the Spirit. The resurrection was the undoing of the ego. So there you go. You can't undo it. It's a power that's infinite and it's eternal. It doesn't matter what the ego tries to do to deny it. It's there. And that's what he's asking us to do. Just awaken to that and say, it's there for you, just like it was there for me. I mean, 2,000 years ago, man, the situation he was born into was extreme limitation, wasn't it? I think we're limited now. I mean, then they were basically living in an occupied territory. The Romans were in charge. So that was one level of control. And then you had the Jewish authorities, this very oppressive Jewish law that kept everyone in bondage. It was a very kind of limited, oppressive society. So he comes into that and he's going, doesn't matter. The power is still the power. I'm just going to teach this and I'm going to express it, and without fear. And if they want to crucify me, well, okay, so what? It's just a body. Got no problem with that. I'll resurrect. Amazing. So, like, you know, there's the call. Like, if he could do it in that time, like, why can't we do it now? Calling us to be as he was and be the light of the world in this time. And fortunately, we have someone who's gone before us. You know, he did it for us 2,000 years ago. It's like, okay, he made the journey, and now he's teaching us and encouraging us, saying, okay, you can do it too. Amazing. It's just like, you can't help but feel grateful.
Oh yeah.
That we live in this time and we have this teaching, and you know, we're able to study it like this in depth. Amazing. Just you can only just feel really blessed and happy and joyful at all of that. So, you know, thank you for doing this, because without people, you don't have you can't have a conversation with yourself. It doesn't work.
True. Yes.
And the sharing of the presence, you know, without people, it doesn't work the same. Reading it on your own just can't do quite the same thing. You can certainly study on your own, but these conversations, it's the flow, isn't it? You feel the flow coming through you. It's amazing.
Yeah, really.
I want to ask, are you aware of this esoteric again? When the evolution have civilization state, we are in that now, but we have war, so we are not really there. We are not really civilized.
Civilized, yes.
Civilized. Yeah. We're not in a civilized state.
But and then when we're talking like you do now, and other wonderful talk like that, they're talking about love, and they're talking about culture state. And that is very strong, and then we start to understand things.
Yeah, I think we're in a major phase of you know, humanity's awakening to something else that we've denied forever.
Yeah,
you know, this kind of presence, this loving presence has always been fairly limited. You know, you've had spiritual masters like Jesus and Buddha who come along and they've taught it, but it's never come into mass awareness. And it certainly hasn't directed our societies. By and large, our society's been directed by the ego. So imagine this loving presence coming in and saying, okay, now the entire world's going to be reorganized based on this love, and you can live in this world very, very functionally, very practically. You can have a very happy dream if you allow love to organize it for you and structure it in, you know, ways that are truly helpful. Well, that's the opportunity we have, I think, more than ever in history, is to do that with this technology that we have. Like, it's so possible, so doable. We can reorganize everything, and we're sitting on with that potential now. And well, why not? Just, you know, you allow love to do it through you. You show up as the awareness of love's presence. Just be directed by it. Yeah, what's impossible? Look at what Jesus did, and he had very limited technology. Just had, you know, there was no like technology like we have today, where you can communicate with, you know, millions of people instantly. It was like very slow. You had to do it person by person, and yet he changed the world. So now, wow, okay, you know, this information, this can happen so quickly. Just wake people up to this, and things must change. You know, if people start awakening to this power, you know, what are these stupid control systems we invented? This is ridiculous. Why do we even believe in this? Why do we give our power to this? Why do we believe in this? To, you know, give it power by believing it? No. So, you know, we're in an awakening. I think as civilization, as a species, want to call us that. It's the awakening of the mind to itself. Know thyself on a scale that's never happened before. That's going to be pretty interesting. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens in the next 30, 40 years of our lifetimes. Wow. And we're living through it. Okay, this is going to be your last time. Okay, this is your last lifetime.
Make it a good one.
Make it a good one. Have a good ride, man. Just absolutely go big and then go home. Go big and go home.
Go large and go home.
Yeah.
That would make a great bumper sticker.
It would.
It would be
Absolutely.
funny to see how many people got that.
Go big and then go home. Yeah.
Go large and go home.
And that's kind of what he's calling us to do.
Yeah.
He's saying, your dream here, it's just a dream, but it can be a very expanded, expansive, happy dream if you choose for it to be. And you can be part of this awakening and this at-one-ment and have a pretty amazing experience. And that's the best you can do in a dream. It's not reality, but you can dream a happy dream, and it can prepare you for heaven. It can be the perfect preparation, the at-one-ment process working itself out through your mind for you ultimately to go back to being. Because in beingness, none of this exists. The dream's over. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go. So, okay, this is my last time here. Let me make it a good one. Let me really live this life to the full, and extend this being through me, and really just go big with it. Let it, not in an egoic sense, not grandiose, but let it expand and extend through me, how it wants to, and allow myself to be done through. And that's going to be big, however that looks. Even if you just sit in a cave and meditate, it's still. But I think for us, the call is to be active in the world. He's not saying go meditate in a cave. He's saying, study this, meditate, do your spiritual practice, but take it into your life, take it into the world, because the world needs it. And you then become the instrument of love in the world, and that's part of the at-one-ment, part of your at-one-ment process, as well as part of everyone else's. And you can experience such joy in that. Like, why would you want to deprive yourself of that? The joy of the expansion and extension to the sonship and the connections that can come. And why would you want to limit that? It's amazing. That's an amazing experience of love flowing through you. So that's why I'm quite, this retreat feels like it should happen.
Yeah.
But let's just see, there's going to be a way. When the time space of it, well, maybe that's not in August. I don't know. But it kind of wants to happen.
I know.
Something that wants to happen. So let's just allow it to happen through us.
Yeah.
And just keep on. Just, okay, well, whatever the next step is.
Okay.
Follow that. Okay. So where are we? Number 9.
I share with love the knowledge of the value it puts upon you. My devotion to you is of love, being born of my knowledge of myself and it. We cannot be separated. Whom love has joined cannot be separated, and love has joined all his extensions with itself. Can you be separated from your life and your being? The journey to love is merely the reawakening of the knowledge of where you are always and what you are forever. It is a journey without distance to a goal that has never changed. Truth can only be experienced. It cannot be described and it cannot be explained. I can make you aware of the conditions of truth, but the experience is of love. Together we can meet its conditions, but truth will dawn upon you of itself. So I have to do this. I can't just sit and take in a theory from some remote teacher. I have to experience this in every minute and every breath to actually really get it, to really get the truth, and to really awaken to the knowledge of where I am always and beyond time. he's asking again, can you really be separated from the will of love? With my I am devoted to you.
Cannot be described and it cannot be explained. So again, he's pointing us to an experience that transcends words.
That is like an ineffable bliss.
Yeah. Can only make you aware of the conditions of truth. That's what he's doing, the mind training, conditions of truth. Okay, this is how this experience will come to your mind. You know, you need to let go of your false beliefs. You need to change your perceptions, so that you are open to this experience. Otherwise, you'll block it and you won't have the experience. But ultimately, he's taking us beyond words. So when, you know, people say, oh, it's a very wordy path, and it's like, no, the point is he's trying to take you beyond all of this. This isn't the end destination that you're going to, you know, study A Course in Miracles forever. And like, you know, no, but it's a process. It's a process of undoing the false beliefs, so that ultimately you just know the truth. You know, you are that truth. You experience it moment by moment. You live in that enlightened state. And but you needed the training to get there. You're not just going to get there and surrender into truth. You know, like I mentioned what Deirdre described, and so what she described was an experience of being in truth. Yeah, and it's beautiful, lovely. If you can do that most of the time, or all of the time, then fantastic. You don't need mind training. You're there. But really, can you sustain that? Really, honestly, if you're honest with yourself, or are those just momentary glimpses? Maybe you meditate and you have a glimpse of it, and then you go into your daily life and you find yourself getting annoyed and irritated and frustrated and a little bit fearful, and you know, then you need the mind training to clear all that away, and that's what this is about. So, you know, when people say, oh, well, the course is too wordy, or it's like too much in the mind, like, really read what he's saying. You know, yes, he's working with your mind because he has to. That's where you are. Your belief is very complicated. You've got all these false beliefs. Okay, well, you know, he has to help you undo that. But where he's pointing you is way beyond the mind of the ego, way beyond, to an experience of total love. And then you start to get glimpses of this on the path, you know, like you have these, and you go, whoa, that's amazing. That, you know, I want more of that. That experience is so expanded and expansive. Why wouldn't I want more of this? So together we can meet its conditions. Okay, so in other words, we train, we do the mind training, we meet its conditions, we change our beliefs, we let go, but truth will dawn upon you of itself. In other words, God will take the final step. He uses that idea quite often. God will reach up and you know, reach down to you and raise you up to him. It will come. The awareness will come when you're ready. When you've cleared away all the blocks, then it will come of itself. Because it's true, it's your true nature. It will arise, and you'll have these, you know, deep connections, deep mystic experiences, revelations, states of grace, just arising spontaneously. Because you've done the work. And, you know, this is, we've seen in history that this is the enlightened state that some people attain, where they're there, they stay in that state pretty much permanently, and they carry that presence with them, and people gravitate towards that. You know, then they become the gurus and the masters, because people, I want the presence. I don't have it in my own mind. I've blocked myself, but I can sense it in you. And you know, then you become the teacher by your presence. So it's not necessarily what you say, just people being in your presence teaches them. So people would go to Ramana and he wouldn't say anything. He just sit in meditation. They just liked sitting with him. He's like, well, the silence is the teacher. He didn't say very much, because, you know, in that silence you experience the bliss of this being, and he helps you, you know, take you into that. So that's ultimately where you want to go with this. You know, as healers, your presence just people are like, oh wow, I want more of that. Give me more of that, because it's so amazing. It's what they're missing in their lives, and you just are it. You don't have to even speak it. You just are it. So that's where he's taking us. But you know, he's saying meet the conditions first. You must meet the conditions of truth. You must do the mind training. Otherwise, you're not going to get there.
Yeah.
The mind will remain blocked. So
Yeah.
that's what we're doing in these sessions. You know,
Yeah.
just unpicking, and you can feel it coming through in the sessions, can't you? You can feel this presence coming, like,
Yes.
whoa,
Very
powerful.
strong for me today.
Yeah, it was a good session today. I felt it too.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
like
so sharing.
yeah, it's like little pins set with 4 dimension
Mm,
chop,
mm, mm,
chopsticks. Yeah, yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Are
Mm.
you're being worked on?
yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
You're being done through.
yeah. They like
Yeah.
what they call when you're not become really good.
When you're needing more training.
No, the name on this not calculate the other.
What is calculating?
Uh,
Dyslexic.
dyslexic. Yeah,
Mm,
they understand. You go with the chopsticks in here.
mm,
You go in the surface. Yeah, I
Oh,
got
right.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a free highway.
mm. So in other words, you don't need words. It's just
No.
download.
Feel, and then aha, wow.
Yeah, yeah. So it's more a feeling.
Yeah, there must be because they saw aha.
Mm, mm.
I'm following that.
Yeah, yeah. So you can it because I mean we're using English obviously, which is your second language,
Yeah.
and it's not the easiest English either. The course is
No.
quite high English. So are you kind of able to follow? You getting the gist of it?
I listen to your voice and
Yeah.
I see how honest you put it up, and I don't have to grab. It's coming voluntary in. So
it's like an energy transmission.
Yes.
You're just like feeling the energy. Yeah.
Everything is in order
Mm.
in my head of what information comes in order. So
Yeah.
I relax and okay.
Yeah. Just absorb the energy. Oh, amazing.
Another energy from what we have talked about outside there. Have more put in more effort to authority, put in more. It's true. Stop. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
So,
like break.
okay. So somebody's trying too hard to put their egoic
Yeah,
authority.
then the lie, because that is a lie.
Yes.
When energy is wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't.
You can't teach the truth with the ego. That's not
Yeah,
possible.
no, I don't want to have with it too, because
Yeah. Yeah.
my own ego I try to sweep away so much because they attack the sneaky one coming in.
Sneaky, yeah.
Oh, sneaky. Yeah.
Yeah. I think because this is so true, Jesus. It's just truth in every sentence.
Yeah.
It's an undoing, isn't it? You can't not read this and really go deeply into it and not feel like there's like a whoa, this power is coming through. It's just expansive, and it's undoing these little blocks in myself as I go. Whatever little beliefs, limitations, it's like just blowing it all away in the expansive power of it.
It's different sharpness in honest way and honest. And somebody tries something, whatever how nice it is. Oh, listen, the bird understand. so the feel energy, unfair.
And you can feel the energy coming through because it's like when you get into these states, it's like it's coming through you. It's like I'm not speaking. It's like a power that's expressing and just does its thing, and you like, okay, great, just let it stream through and don't resist it. So there's no kind of scripting or no, like I don't prepare for these sessions. I don't read in advance. It's like, okay, well, just let it come. It's going to come spontaneously. in the moment, and that's the
Yeah.
best way.
It's like when I died and come back, and nobody can be really sure what that is, but that feeling changed me to the better, so I embrace it. So I go with that vibration and stick to it. I take it out and kick and drive it, because it never fails. I ask for parking place, and there I have. How that come? Very funny. But I feel this. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I'm very grateful for this second opinion from the doctor, and I get from a lady doctor, liver doctor. She's gonna help you with a second opinion. I didn't understand what she mean. I say, thank you for saying. Yeah. But then when I understand what the whole drill was, wow, thank you. And thank you.
Yeah, you got a second chance, to come and do it differently.
I really want to live. No, I'm not so scared to accept what's coming, because I saw my mother when she died. She had some funny praise. Oh, take me from here, take me away, in the night. And I put so much love into her, so she become. I sleep in that room and she sleep in another room. So I understand if she had rheuma, and that is very
rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah, so it's very harsh for her, painful and everything. And she was a very honest person, but she got this old karma.
Yeah. Okay. So happy with number 9? Do you want to do a little summary of that?
Wow. Oh wow, here we go.
Sorry, I'm gonna get this. My phone's just died, so I'm gonna record this on WhatsApp. There's your lovely note. Thank you for that. Okay, so there we go. So number 9.
Yeah, oh, there's so many big sentences in here. Oh yes, I remember talking about it. I have to have this experience for myself. It cannot be explained by anybody else. I have to go through this and understand completely that I am never separated. Love's devotion to me is absolute and complete. Yeah. I am reawakening to where I am always and will be beyond time.
Journey without distance to goal has never changed. Lovely.
That distance to a goal that has never changed. Absolutely timeless, with beyond time. Oneness that has never changed. Wow. Have I got it all?
I think so. Just the last bit: cannot be described, it cannot be explained. I think that's so he's pointing us beyond the mind, he's pointing us beyond the course. He even says at some point, forget this world, forget this course, and simply come with empty hands unto your God.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he says that at some point. So he's pointing us, this is the training, it's mind training, and it's necessary, but it's not the end goal. The course is not the end goal, it's a process.
Yeah.
Miracles are not the end goal, they're a process. It's the correction to take you back to this goal that has never changed. Yeah. To the oneness that's always been there. Yeah. To a total experience of pure formless awareness, essentially. And this is just the training. So together we can meet its conditions, but truth will dawn upon you of itself. Yes, we do the training together and we journey together, and that's all lovely, and we start feeling the awakening of this truth. But when we're ready, the truth will dawn upon us of itself, and it's going to be, it's going to be a mind blower.
Yeah.
Kansas, as Cypher said to Nia, buckle your seatbelts, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.
Kansas is going bye-bye. Right. And this is the falling away of this world.
Yeah, it's going bye-bye. The whole thing is going to go bye-bye. Everything you believe here, your life here, reality here, it's all got to go bye-bye, because it's not true. And your mind ultimately wants to go back to truth. So it's a pretty radical, by certainly any conventional worldly standards. This is a radical path. This is like reality as you know it is going bye-bye. The world as you know it is going bye-bye. It's being undone completely. Who you think you are, all of your beliefs, your values, your goals, your past history, your future, all of it. Just, unplugging, literally unplug. You just unplug from the matrix and it's all going bye-bye. It was all just a dream. And, that's, for me, that's just thrilling. That's like, oh, wow, bring it on. The entire world's going bye-bye. Fantastic. Hallelujah for that. Bring it on. Not everyone is quite there yet. And this is why we do the mind training, because we're not quite convinced that we want it all to go bye-bye. There's still parts of it that we go, oh, that would be nice. But as you start to get more and more in touch with this power, this experience, you go, why am I valuing any other experience? Like, is there any other experience that's better than this?
Yeah.
And I'm just touching it's like a little surface. I'm getting a glimpse of it. But even that is like, whoosh, wow, that's pretty amazing. Like, is there anything that this world can offer me to cycle back to the beginning? Is there anything here that I want instead of this state of being? Forget not the kingdom of God, forget not the state of pure formless awareness, for anything the world has to offer.
Yesterday, I had a strange experience when I was in my container full of bits and pieces, and I haven't been there for ages, and I was looking through the stuff. What is this stuff? Why have I got it all? And then, the big acid test, all the photographs of the kids and the grandparents and the parents, and I looked at them, and it was very strange. I didn't want to look at it too much. Whereas before I would have said, oh yes, and this was in July and that was in September. And I just looked at them, couldn't really connect.
Get into it.
Yeah, and I had to put it away really quite quickly, because I knew that I was looking at them with new eyes. And that's all I got to say about that,
Yeah. Well, because you have these moments. Like I said the other day, I was looking at myself in the mirror and I went, oh my God, this is so weird. Like, what's this? What? Yeah. Like, you notice the weird things on your face. Like, what are these things? Ears, nose, like, it's weird. Like, this, you just suddenly have a completely different perception of it.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just gone out of the normal. And so that's what you experience. It's like, okay, you normally would have gone, oh, that's nice, pictures, family, and it takes you back into the nostalgia of it and special relationships, and I'm my owner and those are my kids and it's all very important to me. And now you're going, really? Is any of that really even true? What are these? They're snapshots. They're snapshots that seem to be real, but they're snapshots of a dream that never really happened.
Yeah.
So, like, how can I take any of this really seriously? This was my life. I mean, you think about the past, all these experiences. Okay, they were experiences in a dream world. They never really happened. As Neo said, like, what does that mean? He goes back to the Matrix and he says, "You used to have good noodles there." And he says, "But I realized that I had all these experiences that never really happened. What does that mean?" And Trinity says it means the Matrix cannot tell you who you are.
Right.
So those photos.
That was it. I couldn't recognize myself
Yeah.
as the person I thought I was in all these
Yeah.
photographs.
Your self-concept changed. So now the photos, you see them differently. You have to, because you see from your self-concept. That's what he's trying to say. You cannot see apart from your self-concept.
Okay.
Your perception is based on the self-concept.
And is that the same as the level, you know, that Einstein was talking about? We cannot solve problems from the level that we were at. And self-concept. I
You have a
that
false self-concept. Your mind is at a lower level. It's a false, it's a false illusory level. So now you're trying to solve problems that self-concept has created, and you're trying to solve it from the self-concept that made up the problems. Well, clearly that's not going to work, as Einstein so logically pointed out. You know, you have to raise your awareness up to another level, which is another self-concept, which is the Christ. You see, this is the genius of this thought system. Jesus is giving you another self-concept.
Yeah.
He's going to abandon all self-concepts, probably a bit much for you. Ultimately, you will. When you go over to God, there's no self-concept. It's just an awareness of itself. But let me give you another concept of yourself, which is the Christ. You are one self. You are only love. I am love. That's it. So that's why in the you know, flipping your flop, you've got to flip it to something, haven't you? I am nothing. That's going to be a bit like, no, I am love, right? There's a positive quality to that. I am that. This is my new self-concept. Expansive, unconditional, eternal love. That now becomes my self. That's the Christ. Now that Christ perceives differently. From that expanded self-concept, you have another vision, Christ's vision. You see differently. You look upon what you looked upon before, and you see it with different eyes. Completely, which is, you know, this is the mind training. In the lesson, he's saying, well, you're going to see things differently. What you behold, what you perceive is going to be different because you're seeing it from a different self.
Got it.
And as you experience, yes, it's, you know, yeah, it's different. 6 months ago, you would have seen those photos differently. Now you see them and you go, whoa, okay, something's definitely shifted. I'm seeing it differently.
Yeah, and the vision.
I'm no longer identified with the character that I thought I was, that experienced had all those experiences, and that has, you know, the life and the children and, you know, all of that. I'm no longer that. I don't identify myself with that.
I'm going to read number 10, and then I need a comfort stop.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Then we'll go into a med after that.
Yeah. What love has willed for you is yours. It has given its awareness to its treasure, whose treasure it is. Your heart lies where your treasure is, as its does. You who are beloved of love are wholly blessed. Learn this of me and free the holy awareness of all those who are as blessed as you are. So love's awareness for me is mine, is wholly mine. And it's for me to treasure. And my heart lies where it's kind of flowery language. My heart lies where my treasure is, as its does. It's like completely central. I'm wholly blessed, wholly safe, wholly loved. Learn this and free the awareness in all of those who are as blessed as I am, and I see myself as integral to spreading this and seeing this and being this. That was my just feeling, just to add on at the end there.
Yeah. So you become the extender of it to others.
Become the extender.
To free their minds as yours has been freed. And you know, this is the only core. You know, what else are you going to do here? You freed yourself.
Yeah.
Extend that freedom. Extend the pure formless awareness that you're experiencing to others, and teach them by your presence, by your words, by your actions, by everything. that this is true for them too. They can have it too.
Yeah.
And they can in turn become the extenders of it. They can extend it to someone else.
Yeah.
And so it becomes a chain reaction of awakening.
Yeah.
The miracles of the at-one-ment he talks about, an interlocking chain of forgiveness, he calls it.
Oh, wow.
One little light, if you think of, candles, one light lights another. And so from one candle, you can light every candle in a million candles very quickly, actually.
Yes.
Because start with one person, goes to he lights two, and then two light four, and literally within minutes, if you were in a stadium and everyone had a candle and one person had a light, you could light the whole stadium in minutes, because it would just be like chain reaction of awakening of the light, and that's kind of that's what the program is. That's what he's saying. Well, you can be part of that, and let me direct you as which candles you should light, where you should go, what you should do. I've got the whole plan. It's cool. You don't have to worry. There's no fear. Just go with this, and you can have a really amazing, happy dream here, while you're awakening yourself and others. Like, what? This is the best we can do. It's a dream, never going to be reality, but it can be a happy dream where reality is now coming into it more and more, and this is the real world.
Yeah.
And he's awakening us to. So, all good.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want your
Alright.
comfort break? Let's come
Yeah.
back in, say, 5 minutes, and we'll do
Yeah.
a minute.
Nice. Okay. Thank you.
Nice.
Okay.
I went back after yesterday, today, for him to remove the patch. And he looked at it and he said, there's still a lot of pressure there, so it's giving me some drops. Really, but it's improving. But once again, you had to do that. So I remember from him having them. You help me. I was talking about. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to down.
Right. All right. All right. Okie dokes. Okay, just gonna open. Alrighty then. So we're ready.
Yeah.
Okay, I just moved inside. There's a bit of noise going on out there. So all right, let's get the recording going. Is Kenneth joining us?
Yeah,
Yeah. Here we go.
there we go.
I'm a little chilly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Are you okay?
yes.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go there. Okay, so all right, so just making yourself comfortable.
Oh no.
I'll put you on mute. So sitting comfortably, your feet shoulder width apart, back straight, cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes, and start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. So breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises, and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Clenching the sphincter muscle, that's the muscle used to contract the flow of urine or squeeze the last drops out. To lock the energy in. And like you're drawing this energy up the spine into your heart center. Put one hand on your heart to connect with your heart space. And draw it up into the crown of your head. Just pausing at the top of the inhale. Maximal inhale breath. And consider today's first idea, God. or pure formless awareness, if you prefer, is the love in which I forgive, or in which I let go. So breathe in this love. Imagine breathing it into your heart center. Put one hand on your heart to help you with that. Breathing it into every pore, every cell of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is the love in which you can let go of all of your negative thoughts and emotions, any blocks to the awareness of this presence. So breathe in this loving presence. Remind yourself that love does not forgive or let go because it is never condemned. The blameless cannot blame, and those who have accepted their innocence see nothing to let go of. Yet, letting go is the means by which I will recognize my innocence. It is the reflection of the love of God or pure formless awareness on earth. It will bring me near enough to the state of pure formless awareness, heaven, that the love of God or pure formless awareness can reach down to me and raise me up to it. So exhale and have a sense of letting go, releasing any blocks to the awareness of this presence, allowing it to arise in your mind. Jesus says it will reach down to you and raise you up to it. Maybe have a sense of rising up through the clouds, blow those clouds away, whatever the dark clouds of the ego are. Blow them away with the breeze of your breath to the nothingness they really are. Pull the lower stomach into the spine, expel the last remaining air and negativity out, and just rest here in the blue sky of your pure formless awareness. And let the light of your source shine through it. This is the light in which you can forgive or let go of all the clouds. Clouds do not exist in the light, which is why God or pure formless awareness is the love in which you forgive. So breathe in on this truth again. Nice deep breath in to the lower stomach, blowing the stomach up like a balloon, clenching the sphincter muscle to lock the energy in. Imagine a column of golden and white light flowing up the spine into your heart center. Put one hand on your heart to connect in with your heart space. And then draw it up into your upper back, to your chest. Draw it up into the crown of your head. Just pausing at the top of the inhale. It's a maximal inhale breath. You feel this column of golden or white light shooting up the spine. It's the lightning rod of divinity, Paramahansa Yogananda called it. So you feel this warm wave of energy tingling up your spine. Take another sip of air in. Feel the power and the strength of this. And remind yourself that God or love, my own pure formless awareness, is the strength in which I trust. So it is not my own strength through which I forgive or let go. It is through the strength of love or pure formless awareness in me, which I'm remembering as I let go. So just, again, letting go of any blocks, any obstacles in your mind. It could be a little frustration with something in your life, a little bit of anger, attack thoughts, fear, anxiety. Whatever it is, notice the thoughts and the emotions and be willing to let go by trusting this strength that is beyond you. And as you do this, you begin to perceive truly. Say to yourself, I recognize its reflection on earth. I let go of all things because I feel the stirring of its strength in me. So feel that now, breathe it in. The stirring of the strength, and you feel it mostly in your heart. You feel a stirring there. Sense of being lifted up, inspiration. And I begin to remember the love I chose to forget, but which has not forgotten me. So exhale, blowing everything away, the breeze of your breath into the nothingness that it really is. Lower stomach into the spine, expel the last remaining air out. And just rest here in the peace and the stillness. Feel the strength of this eternal loving presence that you can trust always, in all ways, in all situations. There are no exceptions. If you notice yourself making exceptions in your mind, observe that and just release it with the breath. Just a little cloud, a wisp of a bank of clouds still floating by. So just blow it away with the breeze of your breath and allow the strength of pure formless awareness, which is the blue sky in our analogy, to abide in you and let the light of your source shine through that. You feel the certainty, you feel the power, you feel the strength of this. The truth is that the blue sky is true. The blue sky is eternal. It's in another order of reality from the clouds. The clouds cannot obscure the sky in truth, even when they seem to be from the perspective of Earth. Actually, beyond it is the blue sky and this beautiful light that shines through it. So breathing in again, breathe in this light. Imagine a beautiful golden or white light, if you visualize light, or just a light feeling flowing into stomach, blowing it up like a light-filled balloon, flowing into every pore, every cell of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is in the light. Remind yourself in this light there is nothing to fear. The dark clouds, doubts, and the fears do not exist in the light. So there really is nothing to fear. And so you just remind yourself of this, how safe the world will look to me when I can perceive it truly. It will not look anything like what I imagine I perceive now. Everyone and everything I see will lean toward me to bless me. I will recognize in everyone my dearest friend. What could there be to fear in a world that I have let go of, I have forgiven, and that has forgiven me, or that has let go of me? What indeed? So just exhale and blow away any scraps of fear to the nothingness they really are. Lower stomach into the spine, expel the last remaining air out, and you rest in this fearless presence of love. blue sky of your true awareness, where there's nothing to fear. Breathe in again. Breathe in. Breathe in the voice of God. God's voice or love's voice speaks to me all through the day. Breathe in the knowledge of this, that it's with you always, in all ways, guiding you in every situation. It's divine intelligence. It's inherent in your mind. So breathe it in. Every pore, every cell, every muscle, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. It's infused with this loving presence that can speak to you, that can give you guidance always and always throughout the day, in every situation. There are no exceptions. That guidance can help you in every situation you ever encounter in this world. So again, breathe it in. It's flowing into the stomach, your heart center, clenching the sphincter muscle, drawing it up the spine, into the crown of your head, pausing at the top of the inhale. Remind yourself there is not a moment in which love's voice ceases to call on my forgiveness or my willingness to let go, to save me. There is not a moment in which its voice fails to direct my thoughts, guide my actions, and lead my feet. So I am walking steadily on toward truth. There's nowhere else I can go, because love's voice is the only voice and the only guide that has been given to its extension. So there is no other guide. It's one voice, which is very good news. It means the confusion caused by the ego is over. And with only one voice and one guide, your direction is clear. Don't get confused about which way you should be going, which voice you should be listening to, because there's only one voice. So as you exhale, just again let go mentally of any desire to listen to another voice, desire to listen to the voice of the ego that is senseless and makes no sense at all, that is leading you on a road to nowhere. It's going to take you nowhere, achieve nothing, just frustrate you, cause you endless pain and grief and suffering. So why would you want to listen to a guide that's going to offer you that when you have the true guide, love's voice? It's expressed through Jesus and A Course in Miracles to guide you flawlessly on your path, to guide you home. So just accept now that this voice and only this voice is going to be your guide from this moment on, in every situation, in all ways, always. So it is said and so it is done. So breathing in again on the truth of this. Nice deep inhale in through the nose into the stomach, blowing it up like a light-filled balloon, drawing the energy up the spine to your heart center, and on up into the crown of your head. Just pausing at the top of the inhale. Smile. Remind yourself that I am sustained by the love of God, the love of pure formless awareness. Breathe it into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every fiber of your being is in this loving presence, sustained by it. Feel the power of this, strength of it. Say to yourself, as I listen to God's voice or love's voice. I'm sustained by its love. As I open my eyes, its love lights up the world for me to see. So you're opening your spiritual eyes, lighting up the world for you to see or perceive truly. As I let go, its love reminds me that its extension, which is me, is sinless. As I look upon the world with the vision it has given me, I remember that I am its extension. So exhale. As you do, have a sense of this love extending through you. You're its source. Source is you. There's no separation. And you allow it just to extend through your mind. So blowing away all the clouds, anything that obscures this awareness that you are sustained by the love of God, and rest in the pure formless awareness beyond the cloud patterns. Let the light of your source shine through it. Just rest here for a couple of minutes of deep silence, knowing that you are sustained now and always by the love of God, by the loving presence of your own pure formless awareness, stated in another way. So sink into that awareness, just surrender to it, don't resist it. Just allow that awareness to arise in your mind. There's nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just breathe in and out through the nose, relax. Observe the breath flowing in and out of the nostrils. Be still. And know that you are this awareness. You are sustained by this awareness. You are sustained by the love of God. You are sustained by this pure formless awareness completely. So sink into this experience. There's no other thought that's required. In our text today, the idea is that this awareness is the thought of God, capital T, and no other thoughts are valid, any worth at all. So surrender into this awareness, which is the thought of God for you. Surrender to this awareness for the next couple of minutes of deep contemplative silence. Know that you are sustained by the love of God, by this pure formless awareness itself for the next 2 minutes of deep silence. So just observing any thoughts, any emotions arising, thoughts of time and space. These are just cloud patterns. They are not real thoughts. Only this pure formless awareness is thought with a capital T. So just dismiss them. It's the breeze of your breath, you blow them away to the nothingness they really are. And you sink back into this pure formless awareness. Let's merge into that. Awareness for another couple of minutes of blissful silence. So just gently bring your awareness back into awareness of the body and the breath and the senses and the world. And on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils, clenching the sphincter muscle, locking the energy in, drawing the energy up the spine to your heart center and on up into the crown of your head. Just be very aware of the subtle sensations. So you bring your mind back into the world, but in a very present way. So this awareness is still there, it's still underlying one of your sense perceptions. That's being in the world but not of the world, the enlightened state of being in the world, which is what we're trying to cultivate here. Pause at the top of the inhale. Just remind yourself of all of today's ideas. That love is, God is the love in which I forgive. Pure formless awareness is the love in which I let go. And is the strength in which I trust. So there is nothing to fear. If there's anything still knocking around in your mind, it's any kind of contraction or limitation, notice it and then just breathe it all out. Let it go with the breeze of your breath to the nothingness that it really is, blowing it away like a dark cloud with black smoke out of your mouth. There's nothing to fear, and so love's voice speaks to you all through the day, right now, moment by moment, and you are sustained by this love. So I'm sustained by the love of God, the love of pure formless awareness, forever, always and always. Smile at that thought, anchor this expanded state in, and carry it with you for the rest of the evening. So it is said, and so it is done. And so on the count of 2, notice the weight of your body pressing down into the chair and your feet touching the ground. Notice what you're feeling with your body, your hands. Maybe there's a subtle flow of air in your skin. Notice that. Breathe in that air. Notice any smells. You do that. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth. Notice that. Notice what you're hearing. Surrounding environment. Noticing all these things. It's a very still, calm, and surrendered state of mind. Anchor this awareness in, stillness, calmness. It's going to go with you wherever you go. And this awareness goes with you wherever you go. The voice is with you wherever you go. It's never absent. It's your true awareness. And so on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. Take a minute just to look around, noticing the various objects in the room, people, whatever arises in your awareness and your perception. Just notice it without any interpretation or judgment. And notice how peaceful this way of being is. So the sense perceptions are just there on one level, you're aware of them, but the key thing is don't interpret them in a way that makes them real. So this is what the ego is always trying to get you to do, and it's what keeps your mind enslaved in the illusion, imprisoned. But the deeper awareness, the awareness beyond form, pure formless awareness, is what will free your mind. So just hold this awareness in mind for the rest of the evening. To help you do that, you can practice any of today's review lessons. I've sent you 5 shorter recordings to do that. And I recommend listening to either this meditation or the longer, 16 minutes that I sent you this morning once more this evening to top you up. Practice today's lesson again and reconnect with the love of God, your own pure formless awareness. So wish you good practicing and a very peaceful flowing evening. Thanks for joining, and namaste. Thank you, Ayana, Kenneth. See you tomorrow, I hope.
Thursday. Yeah.
I'm going to see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Great. Same time. We've got 2 sessions tomorrow, so it'll be shorter afternoon and then an evening one.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ciao.
Thank you. All right.
Cheers.
Have a lovely evening.